Chapter 1596. Due to Duan Lingtian's confidence, Feng Tianwu did not hold back when she made her move. She went all out as soon as she made her move. This was her trust in Duan Lingtian, and it was also her way of expressing her stance to the others. She did not hold back, and there was no need for her to hold back. Tian Wu's strength has actually risen to such a level. Duan Lingtian was also shocked when he saw the strength Feng Tianwu displayed. Although he knew Feng Tianwu was very powerful, he did not expect her to be this powerful. If he had not broken through to the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage, he might not be a match for Tianwu even if he used all his techniques. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. After witnessing Feng Tianwu's strength, Duan Lingtian also knew what was going on. With just a thought, the area within a 100-meter radius around him instantly turned into a sea of swords. Tens of thousands of swords whistled through the air. Wherever they passed, the void seemed to be torn apart, emitting a series of piercing sounds. At the place where Feng Tianwu's territory overlapped with his territory, the flame territory gradually shattered as the sword rays whistled through the air. It was as though a mirror had been hit hard. Duan Lingtian's 10,000 swords territory was like a giant hammer that smashed hard on the surface of the mirror. As the saying went, pull one hair and the whole body will be affected. Although only a part of Feng Tianwu's flame territory was destroyed by Duan Lingtian's 10,000 swords territory, it was this part that affected the rest of the flame territory. In an instant, Duan Lingtian's domineering 10,000 swords territory easily destroyed Feng Tianwu's flame territory under everyone's watchful eyes. In fact, Feng Tianwu's territory was already considered very powerful. However, there was a gap between them. In front of Duan Lingtian's 10,000 swords territory, her flame territory seemed so weak and vulnerable. In just a blink of an eye, it was completely destroyed. Is this a joke? Upon seeing this scene, many of the onlookers had the same thought in their minds. Is Miss Feng going easy on Duan Lingtian? That's too obvious. Even if they're both half-step saint stage experts, and even if their domains differ in strength, the difference shouldn't be so exaggerated, right? Miss Feng must be going easy on him, many people whispered to each other. These people had one thing in common, and that was they were not saint stage experts. The saint stage powerhouses present on the scene, including Ziyun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect, fell silent at this moment. Is this Duan Lingtian really from the mortal continent? Ziyun looked at Duan Lingtian, her heart was filled with shock. Although she had vaguely guessed that the man whom her disciple Feng Tianwu had taken a fancy to was definitely not an ordinary man, she did not expect this man to be so strong. Just his domain alone was enough to crush her disciple Feng Tianwu's domain. As a saint stage powerhouse, she, naturally, could see that her disciple Feng Tianwu did not hold back at all. Her domain was also at its peak. However, even then, her domain was still shattered the moment Duan Lingtian's domain appeared. She was certain Duan Lingtian was definitely not a saint stage powerhouse. Due to this reason, she deeply realized how terrifying Duan Lingtian's domain was. It was definitely not an ordinary domain. In fact, her disciple Feng Tianwu's domain was an extremely advanced flame domain. One of the reasons why Feng Tianwu was so strong was because of her powerful domain. However, even the powerful flame domain that Feng Tianwu relied on was shattered in front of Duan Lingtian's domain. Everything happened in just a blink of an eye. It was so fast that the onlookers could not react in time. What kind of domain did Duan Lingtian unleash? The expression of the Skyrex sect's old man Yin was extremely ugly. After witnessing Duan Lingtian's domain, he faintly realized that Duan Lingtian had the ability to defeat Feng Tianwu. As a saint stage powerhouse like Ziyun, he naturally could see that Feng Tianwu did not hold back at all. However, even then, Duan Lingtian still had the upper hand in terms of domain. The other saint stage powerhouses were also shocked. As the group of saint stage powerhouses discussed among themselves, the onlookers who originally thought that Feng Tianwu had held back realized that they had misunderstood Feng Tianwu. If Miss Feng didn't hold back, then the foreign advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian's ability is too terrifying, right? That's right. This is too exaggerated. As soon as his domain appeared, it crushed Miss Feng's domain. You should know that Miss Feng is a powerhouse who's ranked at the top of the heaven ranking. It's said that half of her strength comes from her own domain. Without the advantage of her domain, Miss Feng is like a tiger without its fangs. How is she going to fight? Many people were still in disbelief. After all, Duan Lingtian's domain was too shocking for them. Elder brother Duan, what's your domain? After her domain was crushed, Feng Tianwu was also shocked. She was stunned for a moment before she asked with an astonished expression, I feel that my domain has no resistance at all in front of your domain. 10,000 swords domain. Duan Lingtian smiled faintly. 10,000 swords domain. When Feng Tianwu heard this, she nodded. Soon after, her eyes shone brilliantly again. Based on the confidence that Duan Lingtian had displayed earlier, she knew that Duan Lingtian was really confident in fighting with her. However, when the scene earlier happened, her heart was still filled with shock. Her big brother Duan had merely unleashed his domain, yet he was able to crush her domain. In retrospect, the moment her elder brother Duan's domain appeared, she clearly felt an oppressive aura rushing towards her, making her a little breathless. However, she did not pay much attention to it at that time. It was not until after her domain was crushed that she realized that her elder brother Duan's strength today was not something she could compare to. The destruction of her domain also meant that her strength would be greatly reduced. Under such circumstances, her defeat was inevitable. 10,000 swords domain? When Duan Lingtian opened his mouth to respond to Feng Tianwu, the onlookers also heard Duan Lingtian's words and knew what domain Duan Lingtian used. 10,000 swords domain. It really lives up to its name. In Duan Lingtian's domain, I'm afraid there are really tens of thousands of solidified sword rays. Moreover, they don't look much different from real swords. Such a domain looks domineering. I didn't expect it to be so powerful as well. Most of the people present on the scene had their eyes focused on the sword rays that were wreaking havoc within a 100-meter radius around Duan Lingtian. The sword rays seemed to have surrounded Duan Lingtian and formed a world of swords. 10,000 swords domain? After hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Ziyun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect, narrowed her eyes. If it's really the 10,000 swords domain, doesn't that mean he's most likely the successor of the first absolute? In Ziyun's heart, there was a secret that only she knew. It was a fortuitous encounter she had when she was young. That fortuitous encounter allowed her to obtain the inheritance of a female powerhouse. That female powerhouse claimed to be the successor of the Blazing Phoenix progeny, the fifth absolute of the seven absolute sect. After she obtained the inheritance, it was equivalent to her inheriting the Blazing Phoenix progeny's inheritance. She became the only successor of the Blazing Phoenix progeny. Due to that fortuitous encounter, her innate talent that was originally not very strong was further stimulated. Currently, she even possessed a strength that even the Windfall Nation's imperial family was wary of. She knew very well that if it was not for that fortuitous encounter, she might not even be a Saint-stage powerhouse now, let alone a Saint-stage powerhouse that even the Windfall Nation's imperial family was wary of. Her entire life had changed because of that fortuitous encounter. For this reason, she was filled with gratitude toward the female powerhouse who left behind the Blazing Phoenix progeny's inheritance and remembered her message. In the message left behind by the female powerhouse, she had mentioned that she hoped that after she obtained the inheritance, she would continue to pass down the Blazing Phoenix progeny until the Seven Absolutes sect's Seven Absolutes order appeared. Once the Seven Absolutes order appeared, the Blazing Phoenix progeny would have to return to the Seven Absolutes sect. As long as the Seven Absolutes sect needed it, they would be willing to contribute everything to the Seven Absolutes sect. Due to the fact that her innate talent was only ordinary, it would be difficult for her to achieve great things even if she continued to improve her cultivation. For this reason, Ziyun had been looking for a young genius who could inherit the Blazing Phoenix progeny since a long time ago. Feng Tianwu was the young genius that she had found. Although she was born in the mortal continent, her innate talent was extraordinary. What made her even more surprised was that when Feng Tianwu cultivated the Blazing Phoenix progeny's mental cultivation method, her speed of improvement was terrifying. It was as though the blazing phoenix progeny's mental cultivation method was made for her. When Ziyun saw how Feng Tianwu managed to achieve her current level in just a few years with the help of the blazing phoenix progeny's mental cultivation method, she knew she could finally give an explanation to the powerhouse who left behind the blazing phoenix progeny's inheritance. Due to her innate talent, it was difficult for her to shoulder the responsibility of inheriting the blazing phoenix progeny. However, this disciple of hers could do it. She believed her disciple's innate talent in the martial Tao was definitely not inferior to the successors of the other 6 absolutes of the 7 absolutes sect other than the Fog Rain progeny, the first absolute. She did not dare to compare herself to the first absolute, the Fog Rain progeny. This was because the female powerhouse who left her the inheritance had left behind some information about the 7 absolute sect. She had emphasized on the Fog Rain progeny, the first absolute of the 7 absolute sect. As the first absolute of the 7 absolute sect, the Fog Rain progeny was different from the other 6 absolutes. It could go 1,000 years without a successor, 10,000 years without a successor, or even 100,000 years without a successor. However, the appearance of its successor also signified the beginning of a new era. There was a saying in the Tao martial Saint Land. The successor of the Fog Rain progeny, the first absolute of the 7 absolutes, could summon clouds and rain with a flip of his hand. This saying was widely acknowledged by most people in the Tao martial Saint Land. Based on this, one could see how famous the Fog Rain progeny of the 7 absolutes sect was. The previous successor of the Fog Rain progeny was said to be a powerhouse known as the Sword Saint. The territory he mastered was the 10,000 Swords territory. Chapter 1597. It can't be so coincidental. After all, the Tao martial Saint Land is so big, and there are all kinds of strange things. Although the previous successor of the Fog Rain progeny mastered the 10,000 Swords territory, I don't know what his 10,000 Swords territory looks like. Soon after, Ziyun comforted herself. It must be a coincidence. It's just a coincidence of the name of the territory. The moment Ziyun thought of this, she calmed down again. However, even if he's not the successor of the Fog Rain progeny, his innate talent is still very high. He should be around Tian Wu's age, but he's already strong enough to defeat her. Ziyun's eyes shone brightly as she wondered if she could take Duan Lingtian as her disciple through Feng Tianwu. If she had both Feng Tianwu and Duan Lingtian as her disciples, she would have no more regrets in her life. Feng Tianwu was going to inherit the blazing phoenix progeny's legacy. Her achievements in the future would not be restricted by the Drift Blaze sect. As for Duan Lingtian, although his innate talent was high and he was currently stronger than Tianwu, she did not think Duan Lingtian would be able to compare to Feng Tianwu in the future. The blazing phoenix progeny's mental cultivation method would become more terrifying as one cultivated it. This was why she was so confident in Feng Tianwu. Due to this reason, she thought she could take Duan Lingtian as her disciple and nurture him to be the next sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. What a pity! The territory has been crushed. Lady Feng's defeat is certain. Many people shook their heads and sighed. All of them looked at Duan Lingtian with a complicated expression. Initially, they thought it was impossible for Duan Lingtian to be a match for Feng Tianwu. However, the reality before their eyes seemed to have given them a loud slap. Although some people thought Feng Tianwu had held back, they did not say anything since the Saint Stage powerhouses present on the scene said Feng Tianwu had done her best. After all, they were only skeptical. How could they have a higher standard than a group of Saint Stage powerhouses? In addition to her domain, Miss Feng's giant beast armor power is also extremely powerful. If this Duan Lingtian doesn't use his domain, he's definitely no match for Miss Feng. You're going overboard with your words. Domains are also Duan Lingtian's methods, so why isn't he using them? Also, he didn't ask Miss Feng not to use her domain. It's just that Miss Feng's domain was crushed by his. Exactly. Apart from martial and Tao cultivators below the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage, who else mainly relies on the true energy consolidated beast? Or rather, if both of them are only perfection Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivators, he's definitely no match for Lady Feng. The onlookers whispered among themselves. Based on their words, they were certain that the reason Duan Lingtian was stronger than Feng Tianwu was because Duan Lingtian's territory was too heaven-defying. As for other aspects, they didn't think that Duan Lingtian could compare with Feng Tianwu. Duan Lingtian was amused by this. Then he withdrew his 10,000 swords territory under everyone's watchful eyes. With a thought in his mind, the 10,000-plus sword lights that appeared in an area of 100 meters with him as the center vanished without a trace in the blink of an eye, causing everyone, including Feng Tianwu, to be stunned. Duan Lingtian actually withdrew his territory? Many people widened their eyes in disbelief. It seems like he heard us. It's obvious he heard us. What's he trying to do? Is he trying to fight Miss Feng without using his territory? If that's the case, then he's really asking for trouble. The onlookers discussed among themselves. They looked at Duan Lingtian as though they were looking at an idiot. This was because they felt that only an idiot would do something like this. It was obvious that he was going to win, but he still chose to avoid the advantage. He was asking for trouble. Not far away, Sidahang, the great young master of Situ clan, and Sidu Ho, the supreme elder of Situ clan, were also shocked by Duan Lingtian's territory. Although they knew Duan Lingtian was very powerful and had the strength to enter the heaven ranking, they did not expect Duan Lingtian's territory to be so powerful that it could easily crush Feng Tianwu's territory. After all, Feng Tianwu was not an ordinary imminent saint stage powerhouse. Although she was only ranked 23rd on the heaven ranking, anyone could see that her current strength could definitely make it into the top 10 of the heaven ranking. Even so, she was still at a disadvantage in front of Duan Lingtian. Moreover, her defeat was certain. However, just when they thought Duan Lingtian would seize the opportunity to pursue and defeat Feng Tianwu, Duan Lingtian's reaction was beyond their expectations. They had also heard the whispers among the onlookers earlier, but they all felt that it was nonsense. Territory was a part of one's strength. A powerful territory naturally represented one's strength. Everything else was meaningless. However, they did not expect Duan Lingtian to take the initiative to withdraw his mysterious and powerful 10,000 swords territory as though he cared about the onlookers' opinions. Elder brother Duan, there's no need to continue this battle. Feng Tianwu took the initiative to tell Duan Lingtian. Upon hearing this, Duan Lingtian was stunned for a moment before he nodded his head. In fact, he had removed the 10,000 swords domain because he wanted to see how powerful Tianwu's Luan Phoenix celestial power was and how it compared to his divine dragon celestial power. It was not purely because of the whispers of the onlookers. It was not up to the onlookers to judge Duan Lingtian's actions. However, after hearing Feng Tianwu's words, Duan Lingtian calmed down. He felt there was no need to rush even if he wanted to spar with Tianwu using the True Energy Consolidated Beast technique. The interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, has defeated Lady Feng from our Drift Blaze sect. From today onward, Master Duan is ranked 23rd in the heaven ranking. Lady Feng's name will be removed from the heaven ranking. At this moment, a Drift Blaze sect's elder announced the result of today's battle with a loud voice. Until now, some people still could not believe this result. However, the truth was right in front of them. They had no choice but to believe it. No matter what, today's battle had come to an end. After it had ended, the people from the various forces who came to watch the show felt extremely complicated. The reason they came here was to test the strength of the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, who had suddenly appeared. However, they had just witnessed Duan Lingtian's strength. If it was only Duan Lingtian's strength, it would not be a big deal. After all, no matter how powerful Duan Lingtian was, he was only an imminent saint stage powerhouse. He would not pose much of a threat to the various forces. Their feelings were complicated mainly because of the relationship between Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu. In Windfall Nation, who did not know about Lady Feng's position in Drift Blaze sect. To a certain extent, Lady Feng could represent her master, Ziyun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. In other words, Lady Feng alone could represent the entire Drift Blaze sect. In other words, from today onward, due to the relationship between Feng Tianwu and Duan Lingtian, the relationship between Drift Blaze sect and Sid clan would be cut off. This was not a good thing for them. Since the battle had come to an end, the people from the various forces left one after another after bidding farewell to Zi Yun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. Even the Skyrex sect's Saint Stage powerhouse, Old Man Yin, left with Feng Hen, the young sect leader of Skyrex sect. Along the way, his expression was gloomy as though something was bothering him. I can't believe he actually won. However, no matter what, I must kill him. Along the way, Feng Hen did not stop muttering this sentence. Based on his words, it was obvious he hated Duan Lingtian to the core. If he doesn't die, I won't be able to eat or sleep in peace. Young sect leader, if it's possible, it's best for you to forget about the conflict between you and the interim advisor of Situ clan. Old Man Yin finally could not help but say this. Why? Upon hearing Old Man Yin's words, Feng Hen frowned. His expression was grave. He injured me so badly, and you want me to forget about it? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Young sect leader, I know you can't wait to tear him into pieces. However, if you really go against him, put aside the fact that he has the Situ clan backing him up, even without the Situ clan, that Feng Tianwu from Drift Blaze sect definitely won't just stand by and do nothing. Old Man Yin smiled wryly. Feng Tianwu? Feng Hen frowned. He had never heard of this name before. Feng Tianwu is Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. The old man sighed. Lady Feng? What does it have to do with her if I want to deal with that fellow from Situ clan? Moreover, that fellow from Situ clan defeated her and replaced her on the heaven ranking. I think she hates that fellow. Why would she stand up for him? Although Feng Hen knew Duan Lingtian had won the battle today, that was all he knew. The old man next to him did not have the time to tell him the details of what had happened today. Young sect leader, there's something you don't know. The old man let out another long sigh. Then, he told Feng Hen everything that had happened that day in detail. He told him about how Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu not only knew each other, but they were also suspected to be lovers. That Duan Lingtian actually has such a relationship with Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect? After learning about this, Feng Hen's expression turned grave. The veins on his forehead bulged as his expression turned even more ferocious. How could he possibly have such a relationship with Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect? Impossible. Impossible. Feng Hen continued to roar. His tone was filled with unwillingness. Although he was a good-for-nothing rich kid, it did not mean he was brainless. In Windfall Nation, apart from the younger generation in the imperial family, there was no one among the younger generation that he did not dare to offend. It was undoubtedly Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. In Windfall Nation, who did not know that Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect was the favorite of Zi Yun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect? Chapter 1598. Due to this reason, after learning about the relationship between Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu, Feng Hen realized it was impossible for him to seek revenge by relying on the Skyrex sect. This was because it was impossible for the Skyrex sect to offend Feng Tianwu and the Drift Blaze sect. Even his father, the sect leader of Skyrex sect, would definitely advise him to let go of this grudge after learning about this matter. At this moment, Feng Hen finally realized why the old man next to him would ask him to let go of this grudge. However, his heart was still filled with unwillingness. However, even though he was unwilling, there was nothing he could do. In terms of strength, he was not a match for the other party. In terms of background, he seemed to be weaker than the other party as well. The other party was suppressing him in every aspect like a gigantic mountain pressing down on his head, causing him to be unable to see the light. All he could see was darkness. Naturally, Duan Lingtian did not know about Feng Hen's unwillingness and thoughts. Currently, due to Feng Tianwu, he had also become the Drift Blaze sect's VIP. Even the two people from Situ clan had been reduced to a foil for him. Since Duan Lingtian and the other two arrived at the Drift Blaze sect 2 days ago, this was the first time the Drift Blaze sect hosted a banquet for the three of them. Naturally, Sidu Hang and Sidu Ho knew this was all thanks to Duan Lingtian. During the banquet, Zi Yun, the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect, sat in the host's seat while Feng Tianwu sat on the seat below her. Her eyes never left Duan Lingtian. The smile on her face set off her beautiful face, making it seem as though everything around her would pale in comparison. When Ziyun saw this, she sighed inwardly. She was able to discern that this disciple of hers was obviously completely focused on Duan Ling Tian. Even she, the master, was not as important as Duan Ling Tian in this disciple's heart. Although she was jealous, there was nothing she could do. A grown woman could not be kept at home. Perhaps this was what she meant. Of course, she also knew that these words were not suitable for this disciple of hers, because she had only met this disciple of hers a few years ago. However, this disciple of hers had known Duan Ling Tian for a long time and had fallen in love with Duan Ling Tian. During the banquet, Sidu Hang and Sidu Ho repeatedly toasted Ziyun. Seeing that it was Feng Tianwu, Ziyun did not refuse. It could be said that she had given Sidu Hang and Sidu Ho enough face. As time passed by, Sidu Hang and Sidu Ho noticed the atmosphere was a little quiet. They only ate the little before they bade farewell and left, leaving Duan Ling Tian behind. They were not fools. Naturally, they knew that the reason why the atmosphere was so silent was because of their presence. Therefore they left at the right time. As soon as Sidu Hang and Sidu Ho left, Ziyun also dismissed her subordinates. In an instant, only Duan Ling Tian, Feng Tianwu and Ziyun were left. Thank you, sect leader Ziyun, for taking care of Tianwu all these years. Duan Ling Tian stood up and thanked Ziyun sincerely. Tianwu's my disciple, so it's only right for me to take care of her. As for you, what's your relationship with Tianwu? What right do you have to thank me on her behalf? Ziyun asked nonchalantly as she sized up Duan Ling Tian with interest. Upon hearing Ziyun's words, Duan Ling Tian was stunned. His relationship with Tianwu? It was obvious that they were not friends. Moreover, if they were just friends, he would not have lost his composure when he first met Tianwu. Should he say that he treated Tianwu as his sister? That did not seem appropriate. If it was said that he had treated Tianwu more like a younger sister in the past. Then, ever since Tianwu had sacrificed herself for him, his heart for Tianwu had undergone a tremendous change. It was just that he had always been unwilling to admit it. After so many years, he discovered that he could no longer suppress the emotions in his heart when he saw Tianwu again. Naturally, he did not plan to reveal his emotions just like that. If he revealed his emotions at this moment and stayed together with Tianwu, how could he face his two fiancées whose whereabouts were unknown? Master! When Feng Tianwu saw that Duan Ling Tian seemed to be stumped by Ziyun's question and did not respond for a long time, she still took the initiative to help Duan Ling Tian out even though she was slightly disappointed in her heart. Girl, you're not married to him yet, and you're already helping him like this? Won't you be bullied to death by him when you're married to him? It was rare for Ziyun to joke around. This joke caused Feng Tianwu's beautiful face to blush. She was so shy that she looked like a little daughter-in-law who was about to be married. All right, I'll stop joking with you. Ziyun withdrew the smile on her face and shifted her gaze from Feng Tianwu to Duan Ling Tian. Her eyes were burning as she asked, Master Duan, the territory that you cast earlier seems to be called the 10,000 Swords territory, right? Sect leader, you're Tianwu's master. Naturally, you're my senior as well. I don't dare to be called master. You can just call me by my name. Duan Ling Tian smiled wryly. At the same time, he continued to say, Indeed, my territory is called the 10,000 Swords territory. Did you give it another name yourself? Ziyun asked. Of course not. Duan Ling Tian shook his head. After I made a breakthrough to the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage, information about territories appeared in my mind. According to the information in my mind, I found out that the territory I mastered is called the 10,000 Swords territory. You didn't name it yourself? Ziyun's heart skipped a beat when she heard Duan Ling Tian's words. Previously, she thought it was Duan Ling Tian who named his territory the 10,000 Swords territory. However, it seemed like she had guessed wrongly. Although many territories have the same name, I've never heard of the 10,000 Swords territory other than the words left behind by the senior who left behind the blazing phoenix progeny's inheritance. Ziyun gasped inwardly before she looked at Duan Ling Tian again and said bluntly, 7 absolute sect. 7 absolute sect? When Duan Ling Tian heard Ziyun's sudden words, he asked in confusion, Sect leader Ziyun, Is this Seven Absolute sect also a sect in Windfall Nation? Although he did not know why Ziyun suddenly mentioned the Seven Absolute sect, he still asked. Feng Tianwu knew about the Seven Absolute sect. However, she could not figure out why her master would mention the Seven Absolutes sect to her elder brother Duan. The Seven Absolutes sect was a force that existed in the Dao Martial Saint Land a long time ago. If her master did not tell her, she would not have known such a sect existed in the Dao Martial Saint Land. Moreover, she also knew the mental cultivation method of the Blazing Phoenix progeny that she cultivated came from the Seven Absolute sect. There were 7 absolutes in the Seven Absolute sect. The Blazing Phoenix progeny was one of the 5 absolutes in the Seven Absolute sect. You don't know about the Seven Absolute sect? Ziyun was stunned when she heard Duan Lingtian's words. Chapter 1599. I've never heard of it before. Duan Lingtian shook his head in response to Ziyun's question. This was his first time hearing about the Seven Absolute sect. Upon hearing this, Ziyun sighed inwardly. She realized she was being too sensitive. Well, how could there be such a coincidence in this world? The fog rain, the first absolute of the Seven Absolute sect, is undoubtedly the most mysterious among the 7 absolutes. It'd be too unbelievable if it's so easy to meet him. The moment Ziyun thought of this, she no longer asked any further questions. This was because she felt it was no longer necessary. Initially, she thought if Duan Lingtian was really the successor of the fog rain, the first absolute of the Seven Absolute sect, with the innate talent and strength he displayed, his future achievements would definitely not be inferior to her disciple, Feng Tianwu. However, now that she realized Duan Lingtian had nothing to do with the Seven Absolute sect, she still insisted on her previous thoughts. She felt Duan Lingtian would be left behind by Feng Tianwu in the future. Are you interested in joining my sect and becoming my direct disciple? Soon after, Ziyun asked Duan Lingtian without beating around the bush. Her words took Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu by surprise for a moment. With your innate talent and strength, your future is limitless. If you're willing to become my direct disciple, you'll be the next sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. Ziyun looked at Duan Lingtian and promised. If it was someone else, Ziyun would definitely not make such a promise. However, because of Feng Tianwu, she was not worried about Duan Lingtian. A man whom her disciple took a liking to was definitely not a cunning person. It should not be a problem for him to inherit the Drift Blaze sect. Upon hearing Ziyun's words, Duan Lingtian could not help but frown. At the same time, he glanced at Feng Tianwu. You don't have to think too much. After noticing Duan Lingtian's gaze, Ziyun naturally guessed that he thought she was unwilling to pass the position to Feng Tianwu. For a moment, she could not help but continue to say, the path that Tianwu is going to take is different from the path that you're going to take. In the future, it's impossible for her to inherit the position of the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. Her stage isn't limited to the Windfall Nation. Ziyun's words were filled with confidence towards Feng Tianwu. At the same time, it also showed that the position of the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect was not worthy of Feng Tianwu. When Duan Lingtian heard this, he retracted his gaze. Many thanks for sect master Ziyun's kind intentions. However, I already have a master. Duan Lingtian politely declined. Ever since he inherited Sword Saint Feng Qingyang's supreme mental cultivation method, Sovereign Heart Sword, he had regarded Sword Saint Feng Qingyang as his master. Ziyun originally wanted to say something, but when she saw Duan Lingtian's unwavering gaze, she no longer wasted her breath. She had lived for half of her life. Naturally, she knew what Duan Lingtian's gaze meant. It meant that no matter what she said, Duan Lingtian would not be willing to become her disciple. For a moment, she was rather disappointed. However, although she was disappointed, she did not intend to force it. You don't have to acknowledge me as your master. After a while, Ziyun seemed to have made a major decision as she continued to say, as long as you join our Drift Blaze sect, you don't have to acknowledge anyone as your master. I'll use the best cultivation resources to nurture you. As for you, you'll also be able to become the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect in the future. It was apparent that Ziyun really valued Duan Lingtian's innate talent. Sect Master Ziyun, I'm afraid I can't do as you wish because I don't plan to stay in Windfall Nation for long. Duan Lingtian politely declined again. Upon hearing that, Ziyun frowned slightly. However, she no longer said anything and merely nodded her head nonchalantly. After confirming that Duan Lingtian was not a member of the Seven Absolutes sect and that Duan Lingtian would not join the Drift Blaze sect, Ziyun no longer had any interest in staying. After bidding farewell to Feng Tianwu and Duan Lingtian, she immediately left. At this moment, only Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu were left. Both of them were curious about each other's experiences. Soon after, Duan Lingtian learned about her experiences in the past few years from Feng Tianwu. She told him everything from when she left Cloud Continent to when she left the overseas Saint Island and went to Windfall Nation's Drift Blaze sect. Compared to his bumpy journey, Feng Tianwu's journey was much smoother. Elder brother Duan, how about you? Feng Tianwu asked as she looked at Duan Lingtian. Upon hearing that, Duan Lingtian told her everything that had happened in the past few years. He did not hide anything since there was no need for him to hide anything. He even told her about how his two fiancées were pregnant and their whereabouts were unknown. At the same time, a worried expression appeared on his face. Elder brother Duan, I'm sure both of my sisters will be blessed. After Feng Tianwu heard that Ke and Li Fei were pregnant with Duan Lingtian's child, a hint of envy flashed in the depth of her eyes. At the same time, she comforted Duan Lingtian. Tianwu, your father is also in the Dao Martial Saint Land now. Duan Lingtian told Feng Tianwu. After the incident on Half Moon Island, he followed me to the Dao Martial Saint Land. Duan Lingtian told her everything that had happened to Feng Wu Dao after he came to the Dao Martial Saint Land. When Feng Tianwu heard that her father had come to the Dao Martial Saint Land, a hint of joy could be seen on her face. However, when she heard that her father's whereabouts were unknown, her heart skipped a beat as a worried expression appeared on her face. Don't worry, Uncle Feng is with my senior brother. Nothing will happen to him. Duan Lingtian comforted her. Moreover, the reason I came to the Drift Blaze sect this time is to spread my name. This is the only way my senior brother will know that I've come to the Windfall Nation and will go to the Situ clan in the Windfall Nation's imperial city to look for me. At that time, Uncle Feng will also come to the Situ clan. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Feng Tianwu felt more at ease. However, she still frowned slightly. She was still worried about her father's safety. Tianwu, I'll be leaving the Drift Blaze sect tomorrow and returning to the Situ clan. Duan Lingtian looked at Feng Tianwu and asked, Are you coming with me? Naturally, Feng Tianwu wanted to leave with Duan Lingtian. However, the moment she thought of her master, Ziyun, she did not agree to it immediately. Elder brother Duan, I'll have to inform master first. Soon after, Feng Tianwu went to look for Ziyun. Ziyun's answer was simple. Before Feng Tianwu broke through to the saint stage, she did not want Feng Tianwu to leave because the outside world was too dangerous. Even with Ziyun's deterrence, who knew if there would be some crazy person who would make a move on her disciple? When Feng Tianwu saw Ziyun's attitude that said there was no room for discussion, she knew she would not be able to leave the Drift Blaze sect before she broke through to the saint stage. Moreover, she knew her master was doing this for her own good. Saint stage? After Duan Lingtian learned of Ziyun's answer, he nodded. There's nothing wrong with sect leader Ziyun's decision. In that case, Tianwu, you can stay in the Drift Blaze sect for the time being. When your cultivation base has broken through to the saint stage, you can leave the Drift Blaze sect to look for me. Of course, before that, I'll come to the Drift Blaze sect to look for you whenever I'm free. When Duan Lingtian saw the reluctant expression on Feng Tianwu's face, he added. Only then did Feng Tianwu's reluctant expression soften. If Uncle Feng comes to the Situ clan, I'll come with him to see you immediately. Duan Lingtian spoke first when he saw Feng Tianwu lightly opening her red lips and seeming to want to say something. Because he knew that the person Feng Tianwu wanted to speak about was surely her father, Feng Wu Dao. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, a smile appeared on Feng Tianwu's face. As the saying went, a man is a man. A gentleman would die for his bosom friend, and a woman would dress up for her lover. Apart from dressing up for her lover, a woman would also dress up for her bosom friend. The next day, Duan Lingtian, Sidahang, and Sidaho left the Drift Blaze sect together. When they arrived, the Drift Blaze sect's disciples were extremely cold to them. However, when they left, the Drift Blaze sect's disciples did not dare to neglect them at all. Naturally, it could also be because Feng Tianwu was present. In the eyes of the Drift Blaze sect's disciples, Feng Tianwu was undoubtedly the next sect leader of Drift Blaze sect. Nobody was willing to take the risk to offend her. Tianwu, let's go back. Duan Lingtian smiled at Feng Tianwu. Elder brother Duan, I'll go back after you leave. Feng Tianwu replied. Duan Lingtian smiled wryly and did not say anything else. He turned around and left with Siduhang and Siduho. Soon after, they disappeared into the horizon. Their figures also gradually disappeared before Feng Tianwu's eyes. It was only until Duan Lingtian's figure disappeared that Feng Tianwu retracted her gaze reluctantly and turned around to return to the Drift Blaze sect. Master Duan, what's your relationship with Lady Feng from the Drift Blaze sect? The way she treats you is as though you're her lover. On the way, Siduhang could not suppress the fire of gossip in his heart. He could not help but ask. In the face of Siduhang's question, Duan Lingtian merely smiled and did not reply. This was because he did not know how to reply. At this moment, his feelings were complicated. Originally, he had already accepted Feng Tianwu in his heart. However, the moment he recalled that his two fiancées' whereabouts were unknown, he no longer had the mood to think about anything else. When Siduhang realized that Duan Lingtian seemed unwilling to talk about it, he no longer asked and changed the topic. Master Duan, after yesterday's battle where you defeated Lady Feng, I'm afraid it won't take long for your name to spread across the entire Windfall Nation. At that time, as long as your senior brother is in Windfall Nation, he'll definitely hear about your deeds. At that time, he'll definitely come to the capital to look for you. Siduhang replied. I hope so. Duan Lingtian nodded. He also hoped that things would go smoothly. When Duan Lingtian, Siduhang, and Siduho returned to the capital, the faraway Greenwave Han mansion had also gradually calmed down. However, the calmness was only on the surface. As the supreme elder of the Greenwave Han mansion, naturally, Han Exen would not let the matter rest when his only grandson died just like that. No matter who it is, I'll make you pay with your life for killing my grandson. Han Exion's eyes were bloodshot. It was as though he had transformed into an extremely bloodthirsty devil at this moment. At the same time, Han Xuanai and the others had also returned to the Crimson Sky Kingdom on Cloud Continent. Chapter 1600. Moon Illumination Sect. Han Xuanai and the others soon found out where Duan Lingtian had gone according to the clues he left behind. They immediately left Cloud Continent and returned to the Dao Martial Saint Land in a hurry. Their destination was the Moon Illumination Sect. At this moment, the people from the Moon Illumination Sect finally realized that something was amiss. They realized the few Saint Stage powerhouses, including the sect leader, had not shown up. When some of the inner court elders went to the Moon Illumination Sect's forbidden area, they realized the sect leader and the others were nowhere to be found. In the beginning, they had intentionally concealed this matter. However, the truth could not be hidden forever. Soon after, the news of the disappearance of the sect leader and the few supreme elders spread throughout the Moon Illumination Sect, causing everyone in the sect to feel threatened. As the news spread, the other 8 great sects were eager to make a move as well. Whether it was the sects that were at odds with the Moon Illumination Sect or the sects that had a good relationship with the Moon Illumination Sect, all of them coveted the various cultivation resources in the Moon Illumination Sect when they found out that the Moon Illumination Sect had lost its Saint Stage powerhouse. At once, the Moon Illumination Sect fell apart and shattered. In order to protect themselves, the few vice sect leaders of the Moon Illumination Sect fled with a large amount of resources in the sect. The elders, deacons, and disciples of the Moon Illumination Sect were also in danger. At once, the Moon Illumination Sect only existed in name. When Han Xuanai and the others arrived at the Moon Illumination Sect, they discovered the sect had already declined. Although they learned about Duan Lingtian from a few Moon Illumination Sect's disciples, The people from the Moon Illumination sect only knew what happened before Duan Lingtian left. They only knew that Duan Lingtian had left. As for other matters, even the Moon Illumination sect's disciples knew nothing about it. Due to this reason, the clues were cut off again. Brother Lington, where are you? Han Xuanai had a worried expression on her face. She learned from the Moon Illumination sect's disciples that Duan Lingtian's situation was not optimistic when he left. With the clues gone, Han Xuanai had no choice but to return to the Green Wave Han Mansion. However, the moment she returned to the Green Wave Han Mansion, she learned from Qing Nu that Li Fei had been taken away. Horror dawned on her face immediately. Qing Nu, what's going on? Miss, the person who took Li Fei away should be your brother Ling Tian's father's men. Qing Nu said, that was the message he left that day. Brother Ling Tian's father? When Han Xuanai heard this, she heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time she asked, did the person who took Sister Fei leave behind any other clues? Qing Nu shook her head. At the same time, she hesitated to speak. Is there anything else? Han Xuanai, who had grown up with Qing Nu, naturally understood Qing Nu very well. When she saw Qing Nu's expression, she immediately understood Qing Nu's thoughts. Qing Nu sighed. At the same time, she told her everything that had happened before Li Fei left. Han Jinyan was plotting something against Li Fei. At the critical moment, that powerhouse arrived and killed Han Jinyan before taking Li Fei away, Qing Nu said. That's right. Han Jinyan. When Han Xuanai found out that Han Jinyan was plotting something against Li Fei, her expression turned extremely grave. Her beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. It was as though she would kill Han Jinyan as soon as he stood in front of her. The three little fellows, Little Gold, Little Black, and Little White, had bloodshot eyes. They were completely enraged. Miss, he's already dead. When Qing Nu sensed the killing intent emitting from Han Xuanai's body, she reminded her. It's good that he's dead. Little Black growled. Little Gold and Little White nodded with a pleased expression on their faces. It's fine if you say these words here. If Elder Han Xen hears this, I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. Qing Nu sighed. So what if Elder Xen hears this? Han Xuanai snorted coldly. Han Jinyan is in the wrong in this matter. It's a good thing he didn't succeed. Otherwise, how am I supposed to face Sister Fei and Brother Ling Tian? If Han Jinyan was still alive, I would have killed him at all costs even if it would infuriate Elder Xen. No matter what, Han Jinyan was already dead. Due to this reason, Han Xuanai's anger had mostly dissipated. The most important thing now is to find out who took Sister Fei away that day. That powerhouse must be quite powerful to be able to take someone away from our Green Wave Han Mansion without anyone noticing. It seems like Brother Ling Tian's father is not an ordinary person even in the Dao Martial Saint Land. Although the person who took Li Fei away had told her his background, Han Xuanai was still worried. She was eager to find out where Li Fei had gone. However, it would never cross her mind that Li Fei had gone to the Azure Cloud Mansion. The Azure Cloud Mansion was a quasi-third-rate force in the WCI subterranean. It did not have much interaction with a fifth-rate force like the Green Wave Han Mansion. Due to this reason, even if Han Xuanai mobilized the Green Wave Han Mansion's forces to search for Li Fei's whereabouts, she would still find nothing in the end. Meanwhile, in the faraway Azure Cloud Mansion, after Duan Ruffing brought Li Fei back, Li Ro was overjoyed. When she saw the child in Li Fei's arms, she was so excited that she could not stop smiling for the entire day. I have a grandson. I have a grandson. After being excited for the entire day, she finally regained her senses and asked Li Fei, where's Kerr? Before I left the Cloud Continent, I heard from Tian that you're with Kerr. Upon hearing Li Ro's words, Li Fei fell silent. Her beautiful eyes flashed with lightning. What's wrong? Li Ro's heart skipped a beat. She had a bad feeling about this. Aunt Ro. The moment Li Fei opened her mouth, she was interrupted by Li Ro with a displeased expression. You even gave birth to a grandson for me, and you're still calling me Aunt Ro? Mother. After calling Li Ro, Li Fei could no longer hold back the tears in her eyes as they rolled down her cheeks. Subsequently, Li Ro also learned about everything from Li Fei. Naturally, most of the things she said were conveyed to her by Duan Ruffing. This included Duan Lingtian's disappearance and Ke being taken away by a woman who claimed to be her twin sister. After listening to everything, Li Ro's body swayed, and her face turned pale. "Does your father know about all of this?" "Yes." Li Fei nodded. Upon hearing this, Li Ro immediately handed the child in her arms back to Li Fei and went to look for Duan Ruffing. "Ro, you know about it?" When Duan Ruffing saw Li Ro coming to look for him with a pale face, he immediately guessed something. At the same time, he sighed inwardly. "I know what you want to say. I've already sent someone to look for him. As for Ke, since she was taken away by the people from Zoroastrianism, there's nothing I can do. She can only depend on her own fortune." When Duan Ruffing reached the end of his sentence, he had a helpless expression on his face. Depend on her own fortune? Chapter 1601. There's still my daughter-in-law and my grandson. If it's possible, how could I possibly watch something happen to them? Duan Ruffing said bitterly, I've told you about the upper province of the Dao Martial Saint Land before, and you've also heard about how powerful the forces in the upper province are. Our Azure Cloud Mansion can be considered as one of the top forces in the Debussyi Subterranean, but we're nothing in the upper province. Zoroastrianism is one of the 3 great sects in the Dao Martial Saint Land. It's an extremely ancient and powerful force. Before the Dao Martial Saint Land was divided into 2, it was already the top force in the Dao Martial Saint Land. Now that it has been passed down for so many years, its strength must have increased instead of decreasing. When Duan Ruffing reached the end of his sentence, he felt helpless as well. In the Debussyi Subterranean, whether it was his own strength or the Azure Cloud Mansion's strength, although they did not dare to say they were the strongest, they were not afraid of anyone or any force. However, this was only in the lower province. In the upper province, there were as many powerhouses as there were clouds, and powerful forces were as numerous as a carp crossing a river. Whether it was him or the Azure Cloud Mansion, although they were not at the bottom in the upper province, they could only be considered as below average. This was because there were too many ancient and powerful forces in the upper province. Although they were not as powerful as the 3 great sects, including the Zoroastrianism, they were still extremely powerful. Zoroastrianism, a top force in the upper province of the Dao Martial Saint Land? Upon hearing Duan Ruffing's words, Li Ro, whose face was ghastly pale, turned limp and collapsed. Fortunately, Duan Ruffing moved quickly and caught Li Ro in time. He could understand his wife's feelings. In the past, he had heard his wife talking about his daughter-in-law, Ke, more than once. He knew that in his wife's heart, Ke's position was not inferior to their son. "Brother Feng, do you think something will happen to Ke and the child in her stomach?" Li Ro asked with reddened eyes. "I won't. Don't worry." Duan Ruffing comforted him. The person who took Ke away claimed to be Ke's twin sister. She also seemed to have a good attitude towards Ke, so she probably wouldn't hurt her. Of course, although Duan Ruffing said so, he was thinking something else in his heart. Perhaps, Ke's sister wouldn't do anything to Ke, but she might not leave the child in Ke's belly. In addition, even if Ke had the protection of her sister, she might not be able to withstand the storm of Zoroastrianism. It was not a small matter for the saintess of Zoroastrianism to lose her chastity outside. Duan Ruffing did not have a deep understanding of Zoroastrianism. However, as far as he knew, in the Dao Martial Saint Land, the saintesses of the 3 great sects, including Zoroastrianism, were required to be virgins. This was because only then would they be qualified to represent their respective sections. Not only had Ke been with his son, but she was also pregnant with his son's child. If Zoroastrianism found out about this, Ke would definitely not have a good ending. Naturally, he did not tell his wife, Li Ro, about this because he knew if he did, his wife, Li Ro, would be even more worried about Ke's safety. This was not something he wanted to see. Moreover, although Duan Ruffing had told Li Ro that he would send someone to look for Duan Lingtian, he was not very enthusiastic about this matter. All of this was, naturally, due to the Oracle Man's instructions. According to the oracle man, even if their family wanted to be reunited, it would be best if his son took the initiative to look for him instead of his people looking for his son. It's not that I'm heartless, but this is also a form of training for you. I believe the oracle man wouldn't do something without thinking. He must have asked me to do this for your own good. Although Duan Ruffing missed his son, Duan Lingtian, very much, he did not want to lose his son. However, when he thought about how this matter would affect his son's future, he made up his mind. Will my son really be able to defeat the five-clawed golden dragon, Diju, in 5 years? Duan Ruffing suddenly remembered the battle he had arranged for Duan Lingtian according to the oracle man's instructions. The winner of the battle would obtain the opportunity to enter the dragon cleansing pool. If it were him, although he was confident in his son, he did not think his son would be able to defeat Diju in 5 years. However, this was the decision made by the oracle man due to his trust in the oracle man. He forced himself to believe his son would be able to defeat him in 5 years. If I bring Tian back now and let him cultivate in the Azure Cloud Mansion, he'll most likely not be a match for Diju in 5 years. But if we let him stay outside, there are too many possibilities. It was precisely because of this that Duan Ruffing was so cooperative with the oracle man currently. Duan Lingtian was, naturally, unaware of his father's thoughts. Duan Ruffing. Ever since he returned to the Situ clan in the capital, he had been having a headache. This was because as his reputation spread out, more and more people came to visit the Situ clan, hoping to meet him. Initially, in order to give face to the clan leader of Situ clan, Situ Hao, he met many people. However, in the end he became annoyed and told Situ Hao that he was going into closed-door cultivation. Then, he squeezed himself into his room and entered the 3rd level of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda to cultivate. No matter how turbulent the outside world was, he remained in the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda and cultivated quietly. He was not affected at all. Naturally, before he went into closed-door cultivation he had also informed Sidahang, the great young master of Situ clan, that if his senior brother came after hearing the news, he could immediately knock on his door and wake him up. Apart from that, he would not even meet the Windfall Nation's emperor if he came personally. Naturally, this was just a casual remark made by Duan Lingtian. Although he had defeated Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect and replaced her as the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation. However, his current strength was not enough for the Windfall Nation's emperor to personally visit him. In Windfall Nation, as the news of the battle between Duan Lingtian and Feng Tianwu spread out, it was completely stirred up. Lady Feng, who was known as the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation, was actually defeated by another young man and was even replaced. Not only did she lose her ranking in the Heaven ranking, but she had also lost her title as the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation. That young man was called Duan Lingtian, and he was also the interim advisor of Situ clan in the capital. I can't believe that in just a few years, there would be 2 monstrous geniuses among the younger generation in our Windfall Nation. With their innate talent and strength, I'm afraid they'll be ranked first among the younger generation in the entire Southern Ridgeyuan Mansion. Looks like our Windfall Nation's feng shui is pretty good. First, there's Lady Feng, and now there's Master Duan. Both of them are outstanding people among the younger generation below the age of 40. Chapter 1602. The Dark Nether sect was a 7th-rate sect in Windfall Nation. Naturally, it could only be considered as a 7th-rate sect in Windfall Nation. Among all the 7th-rate forces in Windfall Nation, it was ranked at the bottom. There were only 2 Saint Stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect. This sect was made up of more than 80% Devil cultivators. Devil cultivators could be found everywhere in this sect, and it was rare to find a non-demon cultivator. The Dark Nether sect's estate was located in a mountain range. There was a vast valley in the middle. The 7th-grade Saint Stone vein that the Dark Nether sect controlled was located in this valley. Usually, many people would come here to mine for Saint Stones. As a Devil Dao sect, the Dark Nether sect was, naturally, different from ordinary sects in terms of manpower. Ordinary sects would send their disciples to the Saint Stone vein in batches to mine for Saint Stones. However, the Dark Nether sect would simply capture laborers and let them mine for Saint Stones here. Due to this reason, the Dark Nether sect's Saint Stone mining had always been very smooth. Their speed was very fast as well. It seemed like they were catching up with most of the 7th-rate forces. Although the Dark Nether sect's overall strength was not strong, their Saint Stone storage was one of the best among all the 7th-rate forces in Windfall Nation. In the vast valley in the middle of the Dark Nether sect's estate, a group of laborers was still busy working even though the sun was blazing high up in the sky. Each of them had a tired expression on their faces, but they did not dare to stop what they were doing. As soon as one of the middle-aged laborers stopped what he was doing, he was whipped by a Dark Nether sect's disciple who was watching them. The whip landed on the middle-aged laborer's back, leaving a burning scar on his back. Blood continued to seep out of the wound. The middle-aged laborers had stopped to rest because he was too tired. When he was whipped, he instantly fell to the ground. He no longer had the strength to get up. I can't move anymore. The middle-aged laborers endured the pain as he struggled to speak to the Dark Nether sect's disciple who was holding the whip. However, as soon as his words left his mouth, a sharp sword appeared in the Dark Nether sect's disciple's hand. The moment the sword appeared, the middle-aged man's expression changed drastically. A hint of panic could be seen in his eyes as the sword pierced through his chest, killing him instantly. After killing him, the Dark Nether sect's disciple raised his hand and lifted the middle-aged laborer's body. Then he looked at the wound on the middle-aged laborer's chest and began to swallow the blood that flowed out of the middle-aged laborer's body. As he swallowed the Blood Nether sect's disciple's blood-red mist, it was obvious that he was cultivating in an unusual way. This was the cultivation method of the Nether sect. Of course, not all devil cultivators relied on human blood to cultivate. This was only a small branch of the devil cultivation method. Seeing this scene, many of the laborers in the surroundings quivered. They hurriedly propped up their tired bodies and continued to work. They did not want to follow in the footsteps of this middle-aged man. In the Dark Nether sect, their lives as servants were, without a doubt, worthless. This is a demonic cultivator? As Nether sect, Nether sectus, although these people's robes were made of precious cloth, they seemed to be covered in a layer of dust, making them look like they were covered in dirt. If Duan Lingtian was here, he would be able to recognize these dusty people as Feng Wu Dao, Sima Chang Feng, and the others. Apart from Bai Li Hong, Feng Wu Dao and the others were here. However, they were currently the Dark Nether sect's disciples. Fortunately, we have Elder Bai Li's protection. Otherwise, I would have been killed yesterday. Nangongyi smiled wryly. Yesterday, because he was too tired, he slacked off and rested for a while and was whipped a few times. At that time, he could not even stand up. However, the Dark Nether sect's disciple did not kill him. He guessed that Bai Li Hong must have had something to do with him receiving such treatment. I wonder how Elder Bai Li is doing now. The Dark Nether sect's disciple was not polite to Elder Bai Li at all. When they found out we're Elder Bai Li's weakness, they even used us to threaten Elder Bai Li to inscribe saint inscriptions for them. Chen Xiao Shui said worriedly. Based on the current situation, Elder Bai Li should be fine. Otherwise, the Dark Nether sect's disciple wouldn't have been so polite to Nangongyi yesterday. Xiongquan said. Speaking of which, we're really unlucky to have encountered the Dark Nether sect's disciples. Moreover, if it weren't for us, Elder Bai Li wouldn't have allowed himself to be captured that day. When Gold Thug reached the end of his sentence, a guilty expression could be seen on his face. That's right. With Elder Bai Li's strength, even if he couldn't bring us along, it shouldn't be a problem for him to leave on his own. Sima Chang Feng nodded in agreement. As it turned out, after Bai Li Hong brought Feng Wu Dao and the others away from the Moon Illumination sect, they had indeed come to Windfall Nation just as Duan Lingtian had speculated. Their destination was the capital of Windfall Nation. However, their luck was not good. Not long after they arrived in Windfall Nation, they encountered the Dark Nether sect's disciples who were trying to capture them. The leader was one of the vice sect leaders of Dark Nether sect. He was also one of the top 5 imminent saint stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect. In front of this powerhouse, Bai Li Hong had the chance to escape on his own. However, since he was alone, it was almost impossible for him to bring Feng Wudao and the others away. Since Bai Li Hong did not escape on his own, the group of them was captured by the Dark Nether sect's disciples. Initially, Bai Li Hong had revealed that he was a 3-star Saint Inscription Master because he wanted the Dark Nether sect to treat Feng Wudao and the others well on account of his value as a 3-star Saint Inscription Master. He did not want them to be forced to do manual labor. However, as a Devil Dao sect, the Dark Nether sect did not fall for Bai Li Hong's trick. Not only did they force Feng Wudao and the others to do manual labor, but they even used their lives to threaten Bai Li Hong to serve the Dark Nether sect. If Bai Li Hong dared to disobey, they would kill Feng Wudao and the others. In Bai Li Hong's opinion, Feng Wudao and the others were entrusted to him by his junior brother, Duan Lingtian. If anything happened to any of them, he would not be able to answer to Duan Lingtian. For this reason, he could only cooperate with the Dark Nether sect and did not dare to act recklessly. However, he did state a condition. Feng Wudao and the others' lives must not be in danger. Otherwise, even if he died, he would not inscribe saint inscriptions for the Dark Nether sect. The Dark Nether sect knew this was Bai Li Hong's bottom line, so they agreed to his request. It was precisely because of Rong Chui that Feng Wudao and the others' lives were not in danger for the time being. Hey, have you heard? Our Windfall Nation has another outstanding young genius. I think his name is Duan Lingtian. He's the interim advisor of the Situ clan in the capital. Chapter 1603. The 2 Dark Nether sect's disciples were in charge of monitoring the laborers who were excavating the Saint Stone Reserve. They chatted casually as though no one was around. However, when their idle chatter entered into the ears of Feng Wudao and the others, it caused Feng Wudao and the others to be stunned. Duan Lingtian? Young genius? Interim advisor of Situ clan? Feng Wudao and the others looked at each other and communicated through voice transmission. Do all of you think it's that brat Lingtian? Feng Wudao was the first to ask. It's possible. Sima Chang Feng nodded. It should be young master. However, how did young master become the interim advisor of Situ clan? Xiong Quan was confused. Perhaps, it's just someone with the same name, Qin Shao Shui said. He was not as optimistic as Feng Wudao. After all, although Duan Lingtian's innate talent and strength were beyond his reach, he was still far from being qualified to become the interim advisor of Situ clan in the capital. The Situ clan in the capital was a force that was even more powerful than the Dark Nether sect they were currently in. It was a powerful 7th-rate clan. It was not easy to become the interim advisor of the Situ clan. Indeed, it's just someone with the same name. Nan Gongyi nodded. He was as calm as Qin Shao Shui. Young genius, Duan Lingting. Perhaps it's the same person. It was rare for Nangong Qin to speak. What are all of you doing? Are you trying to slack off? While Feng Wudao and the others were daydreaming, one of the 2 Dark Nether sect's disciples who passed by shouted angrily. With a raise of his hand, the whip in his hand landed on Qin Shao Shui's face. Slap. In just an instant, a purplish-black scar appeared on Qin Shao Shui's face. Blood was still flowing out of it. The sudden whip also caused Qin Shao Shui to stagger and almost fall to the ground. The intense pain caused him to grunt. When he regained his senses, he glared at the Dark Nether sect's disciple who had whipped him. When had he ever been humiliated like this since he came to the Dao Martial Saint Land from the mortal continent? What? You still want to fight me? When the Dark Nether sect's disciple saw the anger in Qin Shao Shui's eyes, he smiled. He raised the whip in his hand again, wanting to whip Qin Shao Shui again. Qin Shao Shui's face darkened, and he wanted to fight back. At this moment, he no longer cared whether he was a match for the other party. He might not be as strong as the other party, but that didn't mean that he didn't have dignity. However, before Qin Shao Shui could make his move, Feng Wudao and the others stood in front of Qin Shao Shui. All of them stared coldly at the Dark Nether sect's disciple who had raised the whip. What? Do you all want to die? This was the first time this Dark Nether sect's disciple had seen a slave acting so arrogantly. Killing intent instantly flashed in his eyes. He wanted to kill Feng Wudao and the others. They have a close relationship with the new 3-star Saint Inscription Master in the sect. Vice sect leader Tan personally ordered that they can work, but they are not allowed to cripple or kill them. Another Dark Nether sect's disciple stopped his companion and reminded him through voice transmission. Are they the ones who were captured together with that 3-star Saint Inscription Master? The latter could not help but frown when he heard this. He had also heard that among the new slaves, there were a few who could not be touched. At most, he could only teach them a lesson. If they were crippled or even killed, the ones who would have to bear the consequences would be him, the one who would have to bear the consequences. However, it did not cross his mind that the slaves who could not be touched were the ones who were rude to him. Although he could still teach the people in front of him a lesson, it was obvious that they were going to fight him to the death based on their attitude. He instantly dismissed the idea of teaching them a lesson. If these people were to risk their lives against him, he might accidentally be ruthless and cause them to suffer a great loss. He did not care about these people's lives. However, he had no choice but to obey the vice sect leader's order. He shuddered when he thought about the consequences of disobeying the vice sect leader's order. He did not dare to try it himself. Humph! The Dark Nether sect's disciple snorted coldly and put down the whip. He glanced at Qin Shao Shui with killing intent before he left with his companion. Meanwhile, the group of slaves nearby had an envious expression on their faces when they looked at Feng Wudao and the others. Although Feng Wudao and the others were also slaves, their treatment was much better than theirs. At the very least, they would not lose their lives here. However, they did not know why the Dark Nether sect's disciple did not kill them. When Feng Wudao and the others saw the 2 Dark Nether sect's disciples leaving, they began to discuss among themselves again. It doesn't matter if that person is Duan Lingtian or not. We have to confirm it. If he is, with the Situ clan's influence, it won't be difficult for us to escape. I really don't want to stay in this godforsaken place any longer. Nangong said. Although they were spared because of Bai Li Hong, they did not want to die. However, the humiliation they suffered here was unbearable. Nangong Yi's suggestion was also approved by the others. For now, the biggest problem is we can't contact the Duan Lingtian from the Situ clan in the capital. We're now slaves of the Dark Nether sect. It's impossible for us to leave this place. Sima Changfeng said. That's a problem. Gold Thug nodded. Even if Master is really in the Situ clan, he doesn't know we're here. We still can't escape. All of you seem to have overlooked a problem. At this moment, Feng Wudao spoke. His eyes shone with a wise gleam as though he had seen through everything. And his words had successfully attracted the gazes of Sima Changfeng and the others. Under the watchful eyes of the others, Feng Wudao said, let's not talk about whether that Duan Lingtian from the Situ clan in the capital is the Lingtian brat we know. Since his name has spread all the way here, I'm sure Elder Bai Li must have heard about it as well. With Elder Bai Li's wisdom, it's only natural that he'll think of a way to confirm if that Duan Lingtian from the Situ clan is the Lingtian brat we know. If he's the Lingtian brat, it doesn't matter how he became the interim advisor of the Situ clan. As long as he can get the Situ clan to help him, it won't be difficult for him to rescue us and Elder Bai Li. Feng Wudao finished his sentence in one breath. The moment Feng Wudao's words left his mouth, the eyes of Sima Changfeng and the others lit up immediately. Why didn't I think of this? Nangong Yi smiled wryly. As the saying goes, too much concern leads to confusion. I've just thought of this problem as well. Now that we've heard about the interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian, I'm sure Elder Bai Li has heard about it as well. Feng Wudao added. Just as Feng Wudao had said, Bai Li Hong had indeed heard about the interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian. As a 3-star Saint Inscription Master, although he was imprisoned by the Dark Nether sect, his life was much better than Feng Wudao and the others. Naturally, with his strength, he would not be able to escape unless there was a Saint stage powerhouse watching him. Chapter 1604. There were only 2 Saint stage powerhouses in the entire Dark Nether sect. Naturally, it was impossible for them to keep an eye on Bai Li Hong. The reason Bai Li Hong did not leave was because of Feng Wudao and the others. He had been thinking of ways to save them and leave the Dark Nether sect. However, he could not find a chance to do so. This was because he realized the vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect who had brought him back seemed to have guessed his plan. He would take the initiative to keep an eye on him. Even if the vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect did not keep an eye on him, it would still be difficult for him to save Feng Wudao and the others. This was because there was also an imminent saint stage powerhouse guarding the place where the slaves were imprisoned. If he approached, the imminent saint stage powerhouse would notice him immediately. He could escape by himself, but it was not realistic for him to bring Feng Wudao and the others along. After all, there were 7 of them. Duan Lingtian, the interim advisor of Situ clan? When Bai Li Hong heard the name of the Situ clan's interim advisor, Master Duan, who had recently become famous in Windfall Nation, his heart skipped a beat. He was pleasantly surprised. Its junior brother? He came to Windfall Nation? When Bai Li Hong found out the interim advisor of Situ clan was also called Duan Lingtian, he was almost certain Duan Lingtian was his junior brother. This was because he had told his junior brother that he would come to Windfall Nation if he had the chance in the future. And he had indeed come. Not only had he come, he had also brought along Feng Wudao and the others. Unfortunately, the people from the Dark Nether sect had suddenly appeared and captured them. They were forced to stay in the Dark Nether sect. However, how did junior brother become the interim advisor of Situ clan? The Situ clan is a famous clan in Windfall Nation. Although it's also a 7th-rate force like the Dark Nether sect, it's undoubtedly much more powerful. The Dark Nether sect only has 2 Saint Stage Devil cultivators. Before Bai Li Hong came to Windfall Nation, he had heard of the Situ clan in Windfall Nation. As for the Dark Nether sect, he had never heard of it before. Based on this alone, one could tell the Dark Nether sect was far inferior to the Situ clan. However, it was such a powerful 7th-rate clan that his junior brother had actually become a guest elder of their clan. Junior brother really knows how to give people surprises. The reason he was certain that the interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian, was his junior brother was not only because he had mentioned to his junior brother that he wanted to come to Windfall Nation if he had the chance, but more so because of the age of the interim advisor of Situ clan. That foreign elder of the Situ clan was not even 40 years old. And his junior brother was not even 40 years old. Junior brother's improvement is really ridiculous. Even Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect was defeated by him. Bai Li Hong sighed. He had never heard of Lady Feng when he was in the Moon Illumination sect in the 9-sect Alliances district. However, after coming to Windfall Nation, these 3 words reverberated like thunder in his ears. It was because these 3 words symbolized the number 1 person in the younger generation in Windfall Nation. The strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation was actually a young woman. Bai Li Hong was shocked for a long time when he found out about this. It wasn't that he looked down on women. Instead, it was because women were born weaker than men in many aspects and did not have any innate advantages. For a woman to be able to achieve such an achievement, her innate talent must be shockingly high. At that time, he had wondered if Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect or his junior brother, Duan Lingtian, had a higher innate talent. Now, the truth had given him the answer. The interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian, had defeated Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect outside Drift Blaze sect and replaced her as the 23rd powerhouse at the peak of the Saint Rudiment stage in the Heaven ranking. Since junior brother is in Situ clan, and he's even the interim advisor, I don't think Situ clan will reject him if he asks for help. The moment Bai Li Hong thought of this, he sighed in relief. There's hope for them now. When Bai Li Hong muttered to himself, he was, naturally, referring to Feng Wudao and the others. Previously, he could not see any hope. However, he saw a ray of hope now. The ray of hope came from his junior brother, Duan Lingtian, who was also the interim advisor of Situ clan. The most important thing now is to find an excuse to go to the capital. Then, I'll think of a way to contact junior brother. Soon after, Bai Li Hong thought to himself, although I can leave without anyone noticing, the vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect will definitely fly into a rage and vent his anger on them. At that time, even if I bring reinforcements, I'm not sure if they're still alive. If something happens to them, what's the point of me bringing reinforcements? Bai Li Hong knew he had to find an excuse to let the Dark Nether sect allow him to go to the capital of Windfall Nation openly. That's it. Soon after, Bai Li Hong thought of an idea. He immediately went to look for the vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect who had captured him, Feng Wudao, and the others. He did not beat around the bush and said, "Vice sect leader Tan, I want to go to the capital of Windfall Nation to buy some saint inscription materials." Buy saint inscription materials? Upon hearing Bai Li Hong's words, vice sect leader Tan of Dark Nether sect, a slightly muscular old man who was dressed in a long black robe, frowned. "What materials do you need? Tell me, and I'll help you look for them in the sect's storehouse. If they're not in the storehouse, I can ask someone to buy them outside." Vice sect leader Tan, "I'm not sure what kind of materials I need, so I'll have to go there personally." When Bai Li Hong reached this part of his sentence, he noticed vice sect leader Tan's expression darkened. It was as though he was about to reject him. Bai Li Hong instantly beat him to it and said, "The materials I need are all for 4-star saint inscriptions. I feel like I'm close to becoming a 4-star saint inscription master. As long as there are materials for me to study, I'm confident I'll be able to become a 4-star saint inscription master in a short time." 4-star saint inscription master. One had to admit that Bai Li Hong's words were very useful and tempting. At the very least, it caused vice sect leader Tan's eyes to light up with joy. There were no 4-star saint inscription masters in the Dark Nether sect at all. There were only 2 3-star saint inscription masters, including Bai Li Hong. If there's a 4-star saint inscription master in our Dark Nether sect, the moment Tan Chi, the vice sect leader of Yin Yang sect, thought of this, his heart was filled with excitement. His gaze when he looked at Bai Li Hong had become much friendlier. "When do you plan to depart?" "I'll go with you tomorrow." Bai Li Hong was not surprised that Tan Chi wanted to follow him to the capital of Windfall Nation. Perhaps he would be surprised if Tan Chi did not follow him. Junior brother will be reunited very soon. After Tan Chi agreed to it, Bai Li Hong was inexplicably excited. Chapter 1605. Naturally, Duan Lingtian was unaware of what was happening outside. Currently, he was cultivating on the 3rd level of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda. The flow of time in the 3rd level of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda was slow. 5 days inside was only 1 day outside. For this reason, Duan Lingtian had plenty of time to cultivate. At the very least, he was more efficient than anyone else in the Dao Martial Saint land. After stabilizing his cultivation base at the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage, Duan Lingtian began to break through to the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. This was because he would only be able to break through to the Imminent Saint stage and the Saint stage after entering the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. Although his current strength was almost invincible among those below the Saint stage, his cultivation base was still close to the peak of the Saint stage. However, his cultivation base was only close to the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. He had not truly entered the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. With the strength I've displayed so far, if my cultivation base breaks through to the Imminent Saint stage, the true energy in my Qi will also be abundant to a certain extent. At that time, I should be able to fight against the weakest Saint stage powerhouse if I use all my techniques, right? Apart from cultivating, Duan Lingtian was also looking forward to the future. Naturally, although he was looking forward to it, he was not certain. After all, he had witnessed the strength of a Saint stage powerhouse. It was not something a Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse could compare to. It would be a brand new transformation. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Hua Lao immediately heard the sound and promptly informed Duan Lingtian. "You have news about senior brother and the others?" Duan Lingtian's eyes lit up immediately. He had told Sidhang, the great young master of Situ clan, not to disturb his cultivation unless there was news about his senior brother. Now that someone knocked on the door, it was obvious there was news about his senior brother. After leaving the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda and opening the door, Duan Lingtian immediately saw Sidhang standing outside. "Young Master Hang, you have news about my senior brother?" Situ Hang nodded. "Where's my senior brother?" Duan Lingtian asked anxiously. Master Duan, speaking of which, it's actually not our people who found Senior Brother Ling. It was Senior Brother Ling who took the initiative to look for us. However, Senior Brother Ling seems to have encountered some trouble. He only asked someone to send a voice transmission jade token to our Situ clan. Situ Hang said. The voice transmission jade token was a jade token that was inscribed with the voice transmission saint inscription in the Dao Martial Saint land. It was similar to the voice transmission jade slip on Cloud Continent that could store sound. Of course, voice transmission jade slips could store more sounds than voice transmission jade slips, and they were not easily damaged. It was just like the voice transmission jade slip that Duan Ruffing had left for Duan Lingtian. The voice transmission jade slip that had been hidden in the exquisite jade box had been damaged. If it had been replaced with a voice transmission jade slip, it would not have been damaged so easily. Due to the destruction of the voice transmission jade slip, Duan Lingtian was unable to meet up with Kumi in time. Otherwise, he would have been living the life of a young mansion master in the Azure Cloud Mansion. Huh. Upon hearing Sidahang's words, Duan Lingtian frowned. Then, does this mean you're not certain he's my senior brother as well? The person who sent the voice transmission jade slip said Bai Li Hong asked him to send the jade slip. I don't think I'm mistaken, right? Situ Hang said. If that's the case, I don't think I'm mistaken. Duan Lingtian nodded. After taking the voice transmission jade slip from Situ Hang, Duan Lingtian mobilized his true energy and inserted it into the jade slip. The method of activating the voice transmission jade slip was the same as the method of activating the voice transmission jade slip. Soon after, a familiar voice resonated in Duan Lingtian's ears. Junior brother, when I heard a young interim advisor, Duan Lingtian, has recently appeared in the Situ clan, I was certain it was you. Only you're capable of defeating the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation, Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. Currently, you're famous in Windfall Nation. I think you must have done this on purpose to let us know about your existence. It seems like you've also guessed I've come to Windfall Nation. Upon hearing this, Duan Lingtian felt excited. He could tell this was his senior brother, Bai Li Hong's voice. It was definitely not fake. Actually, when you escaped from the Moon Illumination sect, the others and I almost encountered a calamity as well. Fortunately, the few Saint Stage powerhouses in the Moon Illumination sect had their attention on you. Otherwise, I'm afraid we wouldn't have been able to escape from the Moon Illumination sect. After leaving the Moon Illumination sect, I brought them to Windfall Nation. Initially, we planned to go to the capital of Windfall Nation since it's the most prosperous and safest place in Windfall Nation. Who would have thought we would encounter a calamity not long after we arrived in Windfall Nation? All of us were confined in the Dark Nether sect. Fortunately, due to my ability to inscribe saint inscriptions, the people from the Dark Nether sect didn't kill us. However, they were forced to work for the Dark Nether sect and were sent to excavate the Saint Stone Reserve. Up until now, I'm not completely confident I'll be able to bring them out of here unharmed. If you have a say in the Situ clan, you can ask them for help. I'm sure the Dark Nether sect won't dare to not let us go. Bai Li Hong continued to speak. Naturally, it's fine if the Situ clan isn't willing to help. I'll think of a way to bring them out of the Dark Nether sect unharmed. Once we've left the Dark Nether sect, we'll go to the capital to look for you. For now, our lives won't be in danger. Apart from these words, Bai Li Hong also said he had come to the capital with an excuse. Moreover, there was a vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect and 2 Dark Nether sect elders by his side. The vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect was called Tan Chi. He was an imminent Saint Stage powerhouse. As for the 2 Dark Nether sect elders, they were also elites at the peak of the Saint Rudiment stage. Their cultivation bases were close to the imminent Saint stage. After Bai Li Hong finished speaking, the contents of the voice transmission jade token finally came to an end. Dark Nether sect. Duan Lingtian's eyes gleamed coldly. Killing intent surged in his heart. How dare the Dark Nether sect enslave his senior brother, his family and friends? In his opinion, this was no different from a slap in the face. Master Duan, what did your senior brother say in the voice transmission jade token? Is there anything you need my help with? Sidu Hang asked in a timely manner when he saw Duan Lingtian's expression was slightly off. His words were like rain in a drought. Young Master Hang, do you know about the Dark Nether sect? Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Sidu Hang. In the voice transmission Jade token, his senior brother Bai Li Hong did not tell him what kind of sect the Dark Nether sect was. He could guess the reason why his senior brother did not tell him. He must have known he could ask around in the Situ clan. Dark Nether sect? I know about it. Situ Hang nodded. The Dark Nether sect is similar to the Drift Blaze sect. It's also a 7th-rate sect in our Windfall Nation. However, although they're both 7th-rate sects, the Dark Nether sect can't be compared to the Drift Blaze sect at all. In fact, they're far from being comparable to our Situ clan. In Windfall Nation, the Dark Nether sect is considered one of the weakest 7th-rate forces. They only have 2 Saint Stage powerhouses. Moreover, those 2 Saint Stage powerhouses had only broken through to the Saint Stage in recent years. 7th-rate sect? 2 Saint Stage powerhouses? Duan Lingtian could not help but frown. No matter how powerful or how many martial and Dao cultivators below the Saint Stage were, he was not afraid of them. With his current strength, he was confident he was invincible below the Saint Stage. However, a Saint Stage powerhouse was not someone he could deal with. At the very least, it was not someone he could deal with now. Master Duan, why did you suddenly ask about the Dark Nether sect? Is it related to your senior brother's current situation? As the great young master of Situ clan, Sidu Hang was, naturally, not a fool. Naturally, he could guess many things from Duan Lingtian's question. Yes. Duan Lingtian did not hide anything and directly told him about his senior brother and his friends being imprisoned by the Dark Nether sect. Since the Dark Nether sect is a 7th-rate sect, with my current strength, it's almost impossible for me to rescue my senior brother and my friends. Young Master Hang, are you and your father willing to help me? If you can rescue my senior brother and my friends, I, Duan Lingtian, will owe you a favor. Duan Lingtian said solemnly when he reached the end of his sentence. All this while, Duan Lingtian had rarely promised favors. This was because he knew a favor was the hardest to repay. However, at that moment, for the sake of his senior brother, for the sake of his family and friends, he had decided to make a debt of gratitude. Dark Nether sect. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Sidu Hang's eyes gleamed a few times before he said, Master Duan, if the other party isn't the Dark Nether sect, even if it's a 7th-rate force that's slightly more powerful than the Dark Nether sect, I'll agree to your request immediately. However, since it's related to the Dark Nether sect, I'll have to report this to my father and let him make the decision. The moment Sidu Hang's words left his mouth, Duan Lingtian could not help but frown. He instantly felt that Sidu Hang was trying to evade his request. The Dark Nether sect was only a 7th-rate force at the bottom of Windfall Nation. Why would the Situ clan be afraid of it? When Sidu Hang saw Duan Lingtian frowning, he, naturally, could guess what was on Duan Lingtian's mind. He smiled wryly and said, Master Duan, I'm not trying to evade your request. It's just that the Dark Nether sect has something to do with our Situ clan. It has something to do with your Situ clan? Duan Lingtian's expression turned grave. He did not expect the Situ clan to have something to do with the Dark Nether sect. If he had known earlier, he would not have saved Sidu Hang. Naturally, this was merely a thought in his mind. Even if he knew the Situ clan had something to do with the Dark Nether sect, he would still save Sidu Hang if he did not know his senior brother and friends were imprisoned by the Dark Nether sect. This was because he had saved Sidu Hang because of the huge reward the Situ clan had promised him. Yes. Chapter 1606. Sidu Zhuo was the second young master of Situ clan. He was also the one who almost caused Sidu Hang to lose his life. As for Situ Ming, he was Situ Zhuo's father. On the surface, his status was only below Situ Hao, the clan leader of Situ clan. He was known as the second Master Ming. Although the Situ clan appeared to be united on the surface, it was actually divided into 2 factions. One of the factions was led by the clan leader, Situ Hao. The other faction was led by the second master, Situ Ming. In fact, Situ Ming's faction didn't start opposing our faction from his generation. In the previous generation, his father, like him, established his own faction in the Situ clan and went against my grandfather, the previous clan leader of Situ clan. Situ Hang continued to say. The Dark Nether sect rose to prominence when Situ Ming's father was still in his prime. According to our information, Situ Ming's father was the one who supported the Dark Nether sect. At the critical moment, the Dark Nether sect would become a sharp knife in Situ Ming's hands that would stab the chest of our faction. When Situ Hang reached this part of the sentence, his expression turned slightly solemn. All this while, our faction has been trying to get rid of the Dark Nether sect, but we haven't been able to do so. This is all because Situ Ming's faction has been protecting them in the dark. If we really make a move, I'm afraid Situ Ming's faction will take the risk and completely break ties with us for the sake of the Dark Nether sect. At that time, even if our faction is able to emerge victorious, the Situ clan will definitely suffer heavy casualties. At that time, the Situ clan might be reduced to a 7th-rate force like the current Dark Nether sect. Situ Hang voiced out his concerns. I see. After listening to Situ Hang's explanation, Duan Lingtian's expression eased up. If this was the case, Situ Hang's attitude earlier was understandable. In that case, even if you look for the clan leader of Situ clan, he might not be willing to help me? Duan Lingtian asked. Master Duan, I really want to help you. I believe my father feels the same way. However, even my father has to consider the bigger picture. However, my father might be able to think of a way to save senior brother Ling and your friends from the Dark Nether sect without offending Situ Ming's faction. Situ Hang spoke with an apologetic expression on his face. Most of the people from the Dark Nether sect are devil cultivators. It's best if we don't drag this out. Otherwise, your senior brother and your friends and family will be in danger. I'll ask my father for help. When Duan clan leader of the clan leader, Situ Hao, clan leader of clan. Wait. At this moment, Duan Lingtian called out to Situ Hang. His eyes gleamed as he asked, Earlier, you said most of the people in the Dark Nether sect are devil cultivators? Master's factions A, and Master. However, to Duan Lingtian, they were meat on the chopping board. Naturally, this only applied to devil cultivators whose cultivation base was at most one stage higher than Duan Lingtian. If it was a devil cultivator whose cultivation base was 2 stages higher than Duan Lingtian would not be able to do anything about it. If he encountered such a devil cultivator, he would be like a fish on a chopping board. This was because the devil seal tablet in his hand could only deal with devil cultivators who were 1 stage higher than him. Although Situ Hang did not know why Duan Lingtian was interested in this, he still nodded and said, most of the elders and disciples in the Dark Nether sect are devil cultivators. As for the most powerful sect leader, supreme elder, and the few vice sect leaders, they're all devil cultivators. As devil cultivators, although the sect leader and supreme elder of the Dark Nether sect had just broken through to the saint stage a few decades ago and are considered the weakest among the saint stage, their combat strength is much stronger than ordinary saint stage martial and Dao cultivators. This is the advantage of devil cultivators in this aspect. The combat strength of devil cultivators is famous in the Dao martial saint land. Situ Hang continued to say. Duan Lingtian was aware of everything Situ Hang said. Devil cultivator? Strong combat strength? However, Situ Hang's words were a joke to Duan Lingtian. Perhaps, devil cultivators were stronger than ordinary martial and Dao cultivators. However, to Duan Lingtian who possessed the devil seal tablet, they were not worth mentioning. Naturally, this applied to devil cultivators who were 1 stage higher than him. Young Master Hang, tell me the truth. Even if you look for your father, how confident are you? Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Situ Hang with a glint in his eyes. Master Duan, although you're not older than me, I've always treated you as an elder. I don't want to lie to you, and I don't want to lie to you as well. I'm afraid I'm less than 30% confident. Situ Hang sighed. He felt guilty. In that case, there's no need for you to tell your father about this. Duan Lingtian said. Master Duan? Situ Hang was stunned. He did not know why Duan Lingtian would say such a thing. Could it be that he was angry? I'll deal with this matter. After speaking to Sidu Hang, Duan Lingtian left and disappeared from Sidu Hang's sight in just a blink of an eye. Young Master Hang, I know you'll still tell your father about this matter. However, I appreciate your kindness. Even if I tell your father about this matter, and even if your father wants to help me, I hope you won't make a move. Perhaps, I'll give you a surprise when I return. Just as Sidu Hang was about to look for his father, Sidu Hao, to tell him about this matter, Duan Lingtian's voice transmission entered his ears again. Duan Lingtian's voice transmission was filled with confidence. Sidu Hang was stunned again. He did not know where Duan Lingtian got his confidence from. On the other side, after Duan Lingtian left the Situ clan's mansion, he walked through the streets of the Windfall Nation's capital and headed west. According to the voice transmission jade token sent by his senior brother, by Li Hong, he would be staying at one of the Dark Nether Sect's bases in the Windfall Nation's capital. The Dark Nether Sect's base was not a secret in the Windfall Nation's capital. Anyone could find out about it if they asked anyone. As a seventh-rate force, even if it was at the bottom, it was still a force with a Saint Stage powerhouse. Due to this reason, the Dark Nether Sect's base in the capital was extremely luxurious. Although it could not be compared to the Situ clan's mansion, it was still extremely spacious. When he arrived at the Dark Nether Sect's base, Duan Lingtian, naturally, did not go through the main entrance. Instead, he climbed over the wall and entered. Chapter 1607. In the Dark Nether Sect's base in the capital of Windfall Nation, there was usually only one vice sect leader guarding it. Coupled with Tan Chi, the vice sect leader of Dark Nether Sect, who came with Bai Li Hong, there were only two imminent Saint Stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether Sect's base. Although they were only two imminent Saint Stage devil cultivators, Duan Lingtian was not afraid of them at all. Put aside the fact that he had the Devil Seal Tablet, a super saint weapon on the 10 Great Saint weapon ranking, he was confident he could defeat them even without the Devil Seal Tablet. With his current strength, he was invincible below the Saint Stage if he used all his techniques. In a quiet courtyard in the Dark Nether Sect space, Bai Li Hong was pacing back and forth as he muttered to himself, "Junior brother should have received the voice transmission jade token by now, right?" At this moment, Bai Li Hong was unaware that his junior brother, Duan Lingtian, had already infiltrated the Dark Nether Sect space. Meanwhile, after Duan Lingtian had infiltrated the Dark Nether Sect space, he immediately grabbed a Dark Nether Sect's disciple who was stationed there and threatened him, "Speak. Where's the 3-star Saint Inscription Master from your Dark Nether Sect's base? If you don't want to die, you better not lie to me." Duan Lingtian's eyes gleamed coldly, causing the Dark Nether Sect's disciple to shudder. The young man in front of him looked young, but when he was grabbed, he could not muster up any strength to resist at all. Based on this, one could see how powerful the young man was. He's in the courtyard near the north of the east. There's a 100-year-old fir tree in front of the courtyard. The Dark Nether Sect's disciple cooperated. After receiving the Dark Nether Sect's disciple's answer, Duan Lingtian raised his hand and knocked him out. He did not kill him. The reason he did not kill him was because the other party was cooperative. Moreover, it did not matter if the other party was still alive or not. According to the Dark Nether Sect's disciple, Duan Lingtian quickly found the courtyard where Bai Li Hong was. After he entered the courtyard, he immediately saw Bai Li Hong, who was pacing back and forth with a frown on his face. "Senior brother." Seeing Bai Li Hong's familiar figure, Duan Lingtian's eyes suddenly lit up, and he immediately greeted him. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's voice, Bai Li Hong immediately turned around. "Junior brother." A hint of surprise appeared on his face when he saw Duan Lingtian. However, when he realized Duan Lingtian was alone, he could not help but frown. His heart was filled with confusion. "Where are the people from the Situ clan? Why didn't you come with junior brother?" "Master Bailey, I didn't expect you to have a junior brother." Just as Duan Lingtian and Bai Li Hong were looking at each other, an untimely voice was heard, followed by the appearance of a figure in a black robe. "Tan Chi, you're actually monitoring me?" Bai Li Hong's face darkened when he saw the old man. He said coldly, "My junior brother is only here to see me? What are you trying to do?" Your junior brother is only here to see you? Tan Chi smiled when he heard Bai Li Hong's words. Master Bailey, it seems like your junior brother is quite strong to be able to appear here without anyone noticing. It seems like he wasn't brought here by a dark nether sect's disciple. When Tan Chi reached the end of his sentence, he looked at Duan Lingtian meaningfully as he sized up Duan Lingtian. Since Duan Lingtian had come alone, Tan Chi, naturally, regarded him as an uninvited guest. My junior brother's strength has nothing to do with you. He's only here to see me, his senior brother. After that, he'll naturally leave. Bai Li Hong, who did not see the people from the Situ clan, said in a timely manner. Naturally, he did not want Duan Lingtian to face Tan Chi. After all, Tan Chi's strength was higher than his. Naturally, if Tan Chi really wanted to make a move, he was not afraid at all. Master Bailey, since your junior brother is here, I think it's better for him to stay. Tan Chi smiled. In his opinion, since this purple-clad young man was Bai Li Hong's junior brother, it would be easier for him to control Bai Li Hong if he put him under house arrest. He was not afraid Bai Li Hong would disobey him. Tan Chi, don't force me. Bai Li Hong shouted in a low voice as he appeared in front of Duan Lingtian. He shielded Duan Lingtian behind him as he glared at Tan Chi. True energy rose from his body as the saint weapon inscribed with 3 3-star saint inscriptions appeared in his hand. He pointed it at Tan Chi as though he would make a move if Tan Chi dared to make a move on Duan Lingtian. At this moment, Bai Li Hong had completely forgotten about it due to his concern. Currently, Duan Lingtian was even more powerful than Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. Although he was only ranked 23rd in the heaven ranking, his true strength could be ranked in the top 10 of the heaven ranking. Master Bailey, put aside the fact that you're no match for me, even if you can stop me for a while. Do you think your junior brother will be able to leave? Tan Chi smiled brightly. Practically as soon as Tan Chi finished speaking, 2 old men completely shrouded in black robes appeared and stared fiercely at Duan Lingtian. So long as Duan Lingtian showed signs of escaping, they would make a move at the first possible moment. These 2 black-robed old men were the 2 Dark Nether sect's elders who came to the capital with Tan Chi. Although their strength had yet to enter the Imminent Saint stage, they were at the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. They were not far away from entering the Imminent Saint stage. They could be considered as the top powerhouses at the peak of the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. Upon seeing this, Bai Li Hong's expression changed drastically. Initially, he thought he could hold Tan Chi back even if he was no match for him. This way, his junior brother, Duan Lingtian, would have a chance to escape. However, it seemed like it was impossible now. Tan Chi, if you don't let my junior brother go today, I won't return to the Dark Nether sect with you. Bai Li Hong threatened in a deep voice. Master Bailey, are you threatening me? However, when Tan Chi heard Bai Li Hong's threat, he laughed as though he had heard the funniest joke in the world. What are you laughing at? Bai Li Hong's expression turned grave. Master Bailey, you don't have to return to the Dark Nether sect with me. I believe you're strong enough to do so. However, you can escape on your own, but if you escape, do you think your junior brother will be able to survive? Moreover, there are a few people in the Dark Nether sect that you care about, right? Aren't you afraid they'll die one day? Tan Chi smiled brightly. Based on his words, it was as though he had everything under control. One had to admit Tan Chi's words hit Bai Li Hong's soft spot, causing him to feel helpless. Vice Sect Leader Tan. After a while, Bai Li Hong took a deep breath and said softly, Please let my junior brother go. With my friends in the Dark Nether sect, you don't have to worry about me leaving. They're enough. It doesn't matter if my junior brother is here or not. If the hard way did not work, he would use the soft way. For the sake of Duan Lingtian, Bai Li Hong could be considered to have lowered his voice. Tan Chi burst out laughing when he heard Bai Li Hong's words. Master Bai Li, this is the first time I've seen you act so humbly. It seems like this junior brother of yours has a very high position in your heart. It's much higher than your friends. If that's the case, there's no way I'll let him leave. Bai Li Hong's expression changed drastically when he heard Tan Chi's words. He thought his junior brother had followed him into the tiger's den. However, He did not notice that Duan Lingtian, who was standing behind him, had a calm expression from the beginning until the end. It was as though he was not affected by Tan Chi's words at all. It was as though he did not hear Tan Chi's words at all. There were only two possibilities for such a slow reaction. First, Duan Lingtian was deaf and did not know how to read lips. Second, Duan Lingtian did not take Tan Chi's words to heart at all. Naturally, Duan Lingtian was not the former. Vice sect leader Tan, I'm afraid you still don't know. This junior brother of mine is the interim advisor of the Situ clan in the capital, Duan Lingtian. I'm sure the Situ clan is aware of his visit. If you detain him, I'm afraid the Situ clan won't let this go easily. Bai Li Hong suddenly recalled Duan Lingtian's current identity. He could not help but use the Situ clan to scare Tan Chi even at this moment. Bai Li Hong, who was worried about Duan Lingtian, still did not expect him to possess the strength to be ranked on the heaven ranking. However, even if he did not expect this, it did not mean the others did not as well. The two Dark Nether sect's elders' expressions changed immediately as they stared at Duan Lingtian with dread in their eyes. On the other hand, Tan Chi's expression changed when he heard Bai Li Hong's words. At the same time, he stared at Duan Lingtian suspiciously and asked in a deep voice, "You're the interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian, who defeated Drift Blaze sect's Lady Feng and is ranked 23rd on the heaven ranking?" Needless to say, Duan Lingtian's name was still a great deterrent. At the very least, it was a great deterrent to Tan Chi after all. Although Tan Chi was at the imminent saint stage, he was not qualified to be ranked on the heaven ranking because he was not strong enough. Soon after, Tan Chi realized Duan Lingtian did not respond to his question at all. For a moment, a bad feeling rose in his heart. Only a fool would remain so calm after knowing his identity. Otherwise, he was not afraid of him at all. It was obvious the purple-clad young man before him was not the former. That's right. How could I have forgotten? Junior brother is the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation. He's a famous powerhouse on the heaven ranking. Although he's only ranked 23rd, his true strength is widely acknowledged to be in the top 10 of the heaven ranking. At the same time, Bai Li Hong finally regained his senses. He finally remembered Duan Lingtian's current strength was extraordinary. Bai Li Hong felt his face burning as he returned to Duan Lingtian's side. He suddenly felt how ridiculous he was earlier. At this moment, even his strength was not comparable to his junior brother. However, he had overestimated himself and stood in front of Duan Lingtian in an attempt to protect Duan Lingtian. Chapter 1608. Naturally, Duan Lingtian did not know about Bai Li Hong's thoughts. Even if he knew, he would not think much of it. After all, his senior brother Bai Li Hong was only worried about him. He would only be touched and would not laugh at Bai Li Hong. There's one more person. Should he come out now? While Tan Chi and the two Dark Nether sect's elders were staring at Duan Lingtian warily, Duan Lingtian turned to look outside the courtyard and said nonchalantly. Everyone, including Tan Chi and Bai Li Hong, turned to look in that direction in unison. Even they did not notice that there was someone there. As expected of the interim advisor of Situ clan. He really lives up to his name. At this moment, a middle-aged man dressed in green robes walked into the courtyard. The middle-aged man had a jade-like complexion, and there was a cinnabar mole between his brows. When he walked in, his expression was calm, and his gaze was fixed on Duan Lingtian as he sized him up with interest. "Zhou Shu." Tan Chi's eyes lit up when he saw the green-clad middle-aged man. This was because the green-clad middle-aged man was the person in charge of the Dark Nether sect's stronghold in the capital of Windfall Nation. He was also the vice sect leader of Dark Nether sect. In terms of strength, he was much stronger than Tan Chi. Moreover, Zhou Shu was also a powerhouse in the heaven ranking. However, Zhou Shu's ranking in the heaven ranking was not as good as Duan Lingtian. He was only ranked 30th. Naturally, this did not mean that Zhou Shu was inferior to Duan Lingtian. This was because Zhou Shu's ranking was from 10 years ago. In the past 10 years, nobody could shake his ranking. In the past 10 years, the people in Windfall Nation were puzzled by Zhou Shu's refusal to challenge the powerhouses who were ranked at the top of the heaven ranking. In their opinion, The ranking in the heaven ranking had changed drastically in the past 10 years. Many people who were ranked lower than Zhou Shu had entered the top 10 of the heaven ranking. However, Zhou Shu did not make a move at all. It was as though he was content with being ranked 31st in the heaven ranking. Only a few people in the Dark Nether sect knew that the reason Zhou Shu acted this way was not because he was satisfied with his current ranking on the heaven ranking. Instead, he was preparing to enter the top 3 of the heaven ranking in the future. To Zhou Shu, this was undoubtedly a great honor. This was an opportunity for the Dark Nether sect to make a name for themselves. At that time, people would say that the vice sect leader of the Dark Nether sect had directly entered the top 3 of the heaven ranking. With such an influence, it was only natural that more and more people would join the Dark Nether sect. As a vice sect leader of the Dark Nether sect, Tan Qi, naturally, knew about this matter. Not only that, but he also knew Zhou Shu's current strength was definitely stronger than Lady Feng from Windfall Nation. Apart from that, he also felt Zhou Shu's current strength was not inferior to the interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian, who had defeated Lady Feng. Due to this reason, when he saw Zhou Shu, he felt as though he had seen his savior. After Zhou Shu appeared, Duan Lingtian ignored him. Instead, he looked at Bai Li Hong and said with a smile, "Senior brother, bring me to the Dark Nether sect. We'll bring Uncle Feng and the others to the capital." Based on his words, he completely ignored Zhou Shu, Tan Qi, and the others. Tan Qi's expression turned grave immediately. This was his first time being ignored by a non-saint stage powerhouse. Although the other party was a powerhouse on the heaven ranking and was stronger than him, he still could not take it. He sneered and said, "Even if you're the interim advisor of Situ clan, do you think you'll be able to get them from the Dark Nether sect? How naive." If it was another 7th-rate force whose strength was on par with the Situ clan, perhaps, the Dark Nether sect would be wary. However, they were not afraid of the Situ clan at all. This was because the Dark Nether sect had a close relationship with the Situ clan to a certain extent. In his opinion, even if the Situ clan knew Duan Lingtian's friend was imprisoned by the Dark Nether sect, they would not meddle in their business. At this moment, even Zhou Shu's expression was grave. As someone who was second only to the sect leader and the supreme elder in the Dark Nether sect, naturally, he had his own pride. Anger rose in his heart when he was ignored by Duan Lingtian. Killing intent could be seen in his eyes as the true energy in his body surged. The devil chi in his true energy rose as well, causing the atmosphere to become slightly oppressive. "Who said I'm going to the Dark Nether sect to get my friend back?" Duan Lingtian glanced at Tan Qi disdainfully. "You're just a bunch of good-for-nothings from the Dark Nether sect. Isn't it easy for me to get my friend back?" A bunch of good-for-nothings from the Dark Nether sect. Duan Lingtian's words were like poking a hornet's nest. Not only did Tan Qi's expression turn grave, but even Zhou Shu and the other 2 Dark Nether sect's elders' expressions changed as well. They looked at Duan Lingtian coldly. "You're seeking death." Tan Qi growled. However, he was not in a hurry to make a move. Instead, he glanced at Zhou Shu. Although he was angry, he had lost his rationality. For someone like Duan Lingtian, it would be fine if he used underhanded means. However, if he were to face him head-on, he would be the unlucky one. How arrogant! Do you really think you're invincible just because you've defeated Drift Blaze Sect's Lady Feng and replaced her on the heaven ranking? Zhou Shu took a step forward as devil chi surged out of his body. His gaze was as cold as a blade as he glared at Duan Lingtian. "I don't dare to say I'm invincible, but I don't care about a bunch of good-for-nothings from the Dark Nether sect." Duan Lingtian's expression remained calm as he said nonchalantly, "You're seeking death." Finally, Zhou Shu could no longer hold it in. His true energy and devil chi surged out of his body. At the same time, within a radius of 100 meters, waves of cold aura rose up, as if something was brewing. It was Zhou Shu's true energy condensed domain technique, condensing his domain. As the domain gradually coalesced, a giant beast shrouded in blood-red stellar energy appeared in the air above Zhou Shu's head, accompanied by a giant axe. The gigantic beast instantly pounced toward Duan Lingtian. It opened its bloody mouth menacingly as though it wanted to swallow Duan Lingtian whole. The gigantic axe soared through the air as though it could tear apart the territory. It wanted to cut Duan Lingtian in half. Duan Lingtian remained calm in the face of Zhou Shu's preemptive strike. There was no hint of panic on his face at all. Break! Without warning, Duan Lingtian spat out a word. In just an instant, it was as though the air had been torn apart. Waves of sharp sword chi swept out in a 100-meter radius around Duan Lingtian. Wherever the sword chi passed, the chilling and oppressive aura would be dispelled and suppressed. It was as though it had never appeared before. In just a blink of an eye, 10,000 sword rays appeared in a 100-meter radius around Duan Lingtian. It was his 10,000 swords territory. Not only was the 10,000 swords territory powerful, but the speed at which it was formed was also much faster than in ordinary territory. Before Zhou Shu's territory was completely formed, the 10,000 swords territory had already formed and crushed Zhou Shu's unformed territory. The entire process was as easy as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. It was as though it did not encounter any resistance at all. Impossible! Upon seeing this, Zhou Shu's eyes widened. Shock and disbelief were written all over his face. Although he had heard about how domineering Duan Lingtian's territory was, he thought it was just like Lady Feng from Drift Blaze Sec's territory. It did not cross his mind that even his territory was powerless in front of Duan Lingtian's territory. It was easily crushed. For a time, he found it hard to accept this reality. While Zhou Shu was still in a daze, with just a thought from Duan Lingtian, thousands of sword rays shot out from the 10,000 swords territory. In just a blink of an eye, they destroyed the gigantic axe and gigantic beast that Zhou Shu had formed with his true energy consolidated weapon and true energy consolidated beast. The entire process was as smooth as flowing water. It was as though a father was beating his son. When Tan Qi, Bai Li Hong and the other two Dark Nether sect's elders saw this, they finally regained their senses. Their eyes widened in disbelief. Although they knew Duan Lingtian was powerful, they did not expect him to be this powerful. Tan Qi, in particular, was aware of Zhou Shu's strength. However, even Zhou Shu could not withstand a single blow from Duan Lingtian. It was hard for him to accept this. Before the four of them could react, the 10,000 sword rays in the 10,000 swords territory gathered under Duan Lingtian's feet in just a blink of an eye, forming a flying sword that looked like a real sword. It emitted waves of sharp sword intent that caused ripples to appear in the air as though it would shatter at any moment. When Zhou Shu sensed the terrifying sword intent emitting from the flying sword under Duan Lingtian's feet, his heart jolted. Although Duan Lingtian did not seem to be using any Saint-grade martial tactic, the terrifying sword intent that was emitting from the flying sword under Duan Lingtian's feet gave him a feeling that it was even more terrifying than any human-rank prominent Saint-grade martial tactics attack that had been cultivated to its peak. It made him lose all will to fight back. Run! Run! At this moment, Zhou Shu only had one thought left in his mind, and he immediately put it into action. With his life at stake, he did not have time to think about anything else. The only thought he had was to save his own life. Vice Sect Leader Zhou, are you trying to escape? The two Dark Nether sect's elders were dumbfounded when they saw this. Sush. At this moment, a short-lived sword cry entered Bai Li Hong, Tan Qi, and the two Dark Nether sect's elders' ears before it disappeared in just a blink of an eye. It was as though it had never been heard at all. Among the four of them, only Tan Qi managed to catch a glimpse of the sword ray that had flashed by. All he saw was Duan Lingtian stepping on the flying sword as he charged out. In just a blink of an eye, before Zhou Shu could even get far, the flying sword under his feet had already sliced through Zhou Shu's neck as though he was cutting a piece of vegetable. Throughout the entire process, not a single drop of blood was spilled during this short period of time. It was only when the flying sword had traveled a certain distance that blood splattered everywhere. Zhou Shu was dead. Chapter 1609. Bai Li Hong's eyes were filled with joy when he looked at Duan Lingtian. Although he had long heard that his junior brother's strength was extraordinary, it was only hearsay. Today, when he saw it with his own eyes, he was still shocked. The person in charge of the Dark Nether sect's stronghold in Windfall Nation, the vice-sect leader of Dark Nether sect, Zhou Shu, had died just like that. Although he had not been in the Dark Nether sect for a long time, he had long heard of Zhou Shu's name. He knew Zhou Shu was the third strongest person in Dark Nether sect. His strength was only below the sect leader and the supreme elder of Dark Nether sect. Both of them were Saint Stage powerhouses. This Zhou Shu made it to the 30th place on the Heaven ranking more than 10 years ago. Although he hasn't challenged the people at the top of the Heaven ranking in recent years, nobody has been able to shake his position. His true strength is definitely not as simple as the 30th place in the Heaven ranking. The moment Bai Li Hong thought of this, he inhaled sharply. He was deeply shocked by Duan Lingtian's strength. On the other hand, Tan Qi looked at Duan Lingtian. Apart from fear, there was only fear in his eyes. Zhou Shu was killed by him. Moreover, he killed him in just a second. How's this possible? Zhou Shu's strength is even stronger than Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. What kind of monster is this Duan Lingtian? How did he kill Zhou Shu so easily? Tan Qi's heart was filled with shock. Until now, he still could not believe what he had just seen was real. When the two Dark Nether sect's elders saw Zhou Shu's body being split into two, horror dawned on their faces as well. When they looked at Duan Lingtian again, there was only fear in their eyes. It was fear that came from the bottom of their hearts and souls. Faced with Duan Lingtian, who could easily kill the third strongest person in Dark Nether sect, they felt helpless. Senior brother, the person who kidnapped you and Uncle Feng to the Dark Nether sect mentioned in the voice transmission jade token you gave me, is he the one? Duan Lingtian stood on the flying sword. His purple robe fluttered even though there was no wind. His calm gaze landed on Tan Qi as he asked Bai Li Hong. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Tan Qi's expression changed drastically. That's right, it's him. Bai Li Hong nodded. At the same time, he glared at Tan Qi. If Tan Qi did not kidnap them to the Dark Nether sect, they would have arrived at the capital of Windfall Nation and reunited with their junior brother. It would not have been so troublesome. It's a misunderstanding. This is a misunderstanding. When Tan Qi saw the gaze that Duan Lingtian shot at him had suddenly become fierce, his originally unsightly expression became even more unsightly. However, he still tried his best to squeeze out a trace of a smile towards Duan Lingtian. This smile looked even uglier than crying. At this moment, Tan Qi really wanted to run away. However, when he thought of Zhou Shu's fate, his body froze. Zhou Shu's strength was far above his, and in terms of speed he was far inferior to him. However, even Zhou Shu had not been able to escape from the purple-clothed youth before him. How could he possibly escape from him? Misunderstanding? Bai Li Hong sneered. Tan Qi ignored Bai Li Hong. His gaze would occasionally shift to Duan Lingtian's face as he watched the changes in Duan Lingtian's expression warily. It was as though he wanted to know how Duan Lingtian was feeling. Occasionally, he would shift his gaze to the flying sword under Duan Lingtian's feet. This was his first time seeing a territory that could be consolidated into a sword. And this sword seemed to contain an extremely terrifying power. This could be seen from how Zhou Shu was instantly killed by the sword earlier. Tan Qi's eyes widened in shock. This was because he saw the flying sword under Duan Lingtian's feet suddenly lit up and shone brightly. At this moment, he felt a sharp and terrifying aura locking onto him. This aura came from the flying sword under Duan Lingtian's feet. And Tan Qi's thoughts almost froze at this moment. Another short-lived sword cry rang in the air and entered the ears of Bai Li Hong, the two Dark Nether sect's elders, and Tan Qi at the same time. And this flash of sword whistling was destined to be the last sound he heard in his life. Duan Lingtian stepped on the flying sword and flew past. Tan Qi's head left his body as well. He followed in Zhou Shu's footsteps. In just a few moments, the two vice-sect leaders of Dark Nether sect were killed by Duan Lingtian's sword. Upon seeing this, the two Dark Nether sect's elders' expressions changed immediately. After exchanging a glance, they tacitly split into two and fled in different directions. At this moment, they did not dare to think Duan Lingtian would let them go. Although they did not know if they could escape, They would die if they did not. In order to survive, they chose to fight. Humph! Duan Lingtian snorted coldly when he saw the two Dark Nether sect's elders fleeing in different directions. In just a blink of an eye, the flying sword under his feet shone brightly like the sun as it spread out in all directions. In just a blink of an eye, tens of thousands of sword rays shot out in all directions. It was as though these sword rays had eyes. They purposely avoided Bai Li Hong and did not hurt him at all. The two Dark Nether sect's elders, on the other hand, were pierced into two hornets' beehives in just a blink of an eye. Their bodies were filled with countless bloody holes, and they were no longer breathing. It was obvious they had been killed in just a blink of an eye. From the beginning until the end, Duan Lingtian did not even use the Devil Seal tablet when he killed the two Vice Sect leaders and two elders of the Dark Nether sect. Although they were all devil cultivators with extraordinary strength, Duan Lingtian managed to kill them with his own strength. From this, one could see how powerful he was since he thought he was invincible below the Saint stage. Bai Li Hong was dazzled by the changes in the situation before him. Senior brother. It was only when Duan Lingtian called out to him that Bai Li Hong regained his senses. When he looked at Duan Lingtian again, his gaze was complicated. However, there was a smile on his face. He was happy for Duan Lingtian's achievements. Once upon a time, this junior brother of his still needed his protection. However, at this moment, his junior brother's strength had indeed far surpassed his. Senior brother, bring me to the Dark Nether sect. Duan Lingtian said to Bai Li Hong. Dark Nether sect. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Bai Li Hong's eyes lit up immediately. He asked, Junior brother, has the Situ clan agreed to help? No. Duan Lingtian shook his head and continued to say, Senior brother, it's just me and you. Just us? Bai Li Hong frowned immediately. Junior brother, this is not a joke. Although Zhou Shu, whom you killed earlier, could be considered as the third strongest person in Dark Nether sect, the two strongest people in Dark Nether sect are the strongest. However, the two strongest people in the Dark Nether sect, the sect leader and the supreme elder, were both Saint stage powerhouses. Unless we don't alarm them, it'll be difficult for us to rescue them from under their noses. If we make a move in the Dark Nether sect, it'll be difficult for us to not alarm them as well. When Bai Li Hong reached the end of his sentence, he felt helpless. Senior brother, I know what you're talking about. Don't worry, I have a way. Duan Lingtian said. Junior brother, don't tell me you've broken through to the Saint stage? Bai Li Hong asked as he stared at Duan Lingtian with a burning gaze as a flash of inspiration appeared in his mind. Duan Lingtian shook his head. Although he had the help of the Seven Treasures Exquisite Pagoda, and his cultivation progress was extremely fast, he was still a long way from reaching the Saint stage. Even with the help of the Seven Treasures Exquisite Pagoda, it would still take some time. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Bai Li Hong was disheartened. Junior brother, it's not that I'm looking down on you. Although you're powerful, I'm afraid you're ranked in the top few in the heaven ranking. However, even if you're ranked first in the heaven ranking, you're still nothing in front of a Saint stage powerhouse. The difference between a non-Saint stage powerhouse and a Saint stage powerhouse is just too big. It'll be difficult to rescue them without alarming the two Saint stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect. Bai Li Hong was certain about this. This was because he knew before he and Tan Chi left the Dark Nether sect's estate, Tan Chi had gone to look for the sect leader of Dark Nether sect and told him that he had a chance to become a 4-star Saint inscription master. The sect leader of Dark Nether sect was very concerned about this as well. He had personally paid attention to Feng Wu Dao and the others. He knew Bai Li Hong would only work for the Dark Nether sect and inscribe saint inscriptions for the Dark Nether sect if Feng Wu Dao and the others were in the sect. Due to this reason, it was almost impossible to rescue Feng Wu Dao and the others under such circumstances without alarming the sect leader of Dark Nether sect. Senior brother, don't worry. I'm confident I'll be able to rescue Uncle Feng and the others. Although Duan Lingtian had told Bai Li Hong what was at stake, he was still confident. It was as though he was not afraid of the two Saint stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect at all. Bai Li Hong had known Duan Lingtian for a long time. Naturally, he knew Duan Lingtian was not a person who would speak without thinking. Although he did not know where Duan Lingtian got his confidence from, he did not say anything else. After leaving the capital of Windfall Nation with Duan Lingtian, he brought Duan Lingtian to the Dark Nether Sect's estate. During the journey, Duan Lingtian's emotions were slightly stirred. I didn't expect to receive news about Uncle Feng so soon. If Uncle Feng knows I've found Tianwu, he'll definitely be very happy. The father and daughter can finally be reunited after so many years. At this moment, Duan Lingtian was thinking about Feng Tianwu, who was in the Drift Blaze sect. When Duan Lingtian and Bai Li Hong were making their way to the Dark Nether sect, the Dark Nether sect's estate was also in an uproar. This was because the smell of blood from the bodies of the two vice sect leaders and the two elders had attracted the attention of many Dark Nether sect's disciples. As a result, the news of them being killed by someone quickly spread out. Surprise! In the Sidhu clan's estate, the clan leader, Sidhu Hao, had just finished listening to the interim advisor, Master Duan's words from his son. Before he could react, he saw a figure rushing in without any prior notice. This person was none other than Sidhu Ho, one of the supreme elders of Sidhu clan. Chapter 1610. Clan leader, the Dark Nether sect's stronghold in the capital was massacred by an unknown powerhouse. Vice sect leaders Zhou Shu, Tan Qi, and two Dark Nether sect's elders were killed. Sidhu Ho immediately reported to Sidhu Hao as soon as he entered the room. A hint of joy could be heard in his voice. To a certain extent, the Dark Nether sect could be said to be on the opposite side of their faction. The Dark Nether sect being attacked was, without a doubt, a good thing for their faction. When Sidhu Hao heard Sidhu Ho's words, he looked at his son, Sidhu Hang. Coincidentally, Sidhu Hang was looking at him as well. At this moment, both father and son saw the same message in each other's eyes. Master Duan. In the next moment, both of them spoke in unison. Master Duan? What happened to Master Duan? When Sidhu Ho heard their voices, a puzzled expression appeared on his face. Grandpa Ho, did you just say that Vice Sect leader Zhou Shu of Dark Nether Sect is dead as well? Sidhu Hang could not help but ask. Yes. Sidhu Ho nodded. Zhou Shu is indeed dead. Moreover, his head seems to have been chopped off. Many people are speculating that it must be a saint-stage powerhouse who killed Zhou Shu so easily. After all, although Zhou Shu is only ranked 30th on the heaven ranking, that was more than 10 years ago. The reason why Zhou Shu remained on this ranking is because he didn't challenge anyone who was ranked at the top. Based on his strength, many people speculated that he would be ranked in the top 10 of the heaven ranking if he was placed on the current heaven ranking. Sidhu Ho continued to say, "That's right. I'm afraid his strength is even stronger than Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect." Sidhu Hang nodded. It seems like Master Duan is really powerful. Even Zhou Shu was killed by him. Sidhu Hao sighed emotionally. With Master Duan's strength, it wouldn't be difficult for him to enter the top 3 of the heaven ranking. Sidhu Hang nodded his head in agreement. What? When Sidhu Ho heard Sidhu Hao's words, he could not help but widen his eyes. Clan leader, do you mean the person who killed Zhou Shu is Master Duan? Hang, tell Elder Ho what you just told me. Sidhu Hao said to Sidhu Hang. Soon after, as Sidhu Hang spoke, Sidhu Ho also learned the ins and outs of the matter. Master Duan's senior brother and friends are imprisoned by the Dark Nether sect? Sidhu Ho frowned. Logically speaking, we should help Master Duan no matter what. However, this is related to the Dark Nether sect. It's not appropriate for us to act rashly. Otherwise, the clan might be turned upside down. Moreover, now that such a huge incident has happened in the Dark Nether sect's stronghold in the capital, Sidhu Ming's people will most likely suspect us. Even if they don't shed all pretense of cordiality now, I'm sure they'll keep an eye on us. If we help Master Duan and go to the Dark Nether sect now, I'm afraid they'll shed all pretense of cordiality and cause a civil war in the Sidhu clan. Civil war. For a clan like the Sidhu clan, these two words were no different from a disaster. In the history of Windfall Nation, there were many seventh-rate forces that were not any weaker than the Sidhu clan. However, due to civil war, they had either fallen or were reduced to 8th-rate or 9th-rate forces. Due to this reason, no matter which force it was, they would try their best to avoid civil war. This was because once a civil war broke out, the fishermen would reap the benefits in the end. Once a force was weakened by civil war, the forces that were hostile to it would not let go of this opportunity to add insult to injury. Master Duan didn't allow us to interfere in this matter, Sidu Hang said. Master Duan, you're right. Master Duan said he'll give us a surprise. Don't tell me he's talking about killing Zhou Shu and the others? Situ Hao asked, puzzled. That should be the case. Situ Ho nodded. Now that such a huge incident has happened in the Dark Nether sect's stronghold, Sidu Ming's people will definitely investigate it immediately. Hang, go and see if Master Duan has returned. Situ Hao said to Situ Hang. Situ Hang responded and left. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Situ clan, many people were gathered in a spacious courtyard. A middle-aged man was the leader of these people. If Duan Lingtian was here, he would be able to recognize this person as Situ Ming, the second master of Situ clan, whom he had met before. Second master, something so big has happened in the Dark Nether sect's stronghold. I'm afraid this matter isn't as simple as it seems. Do you think the clan leader is behind this? An old man said as he looked at Situ Ming. I think the clan leader is behind this as well. Otherwise, why would such a huge incident suddenly happen in the Dark Nether sect's stronghold in the capital? Another middle-aged burly man agreed. I don't think the clan leader is behind this. Perhaps it's an enemy of the Dark Nether sect. After all, most of the people in the Dark Nether sect are devil cultivators. They're violent by nature and have offended many people. Perhaps they've offended some powerhouse and brought this upon themselves. A middle-aged scribe said in a timely manner. His words seemed to be more rational. Indeed, that's possible. Many people agreed with the middle-aged scholar's words. Alright, stop arguing. We'll wait for Elder Zhong to come back and we'll be able to confirm this. Situ Ming interrupted the discussion with a frown on his face. Situ Ming had a certain level of authority in front of these people. The moment he spoke, the entire place fell silent. It was so quiet that one could hear a pin drop on the ground. The Elder Zhong that Situ Ming mentioned was the supreme elder of Situ clan. His name was Situ Zhong. In the Situ clan, he was as famous as Situ Ho. 15 minutes later, a bald old man dressed in gray walked in from outside. His eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. Few people dared to look him in the eye. Situ Hao and Situ Ho didn't make a move. The bald old man was none other than Situ Zhong. He looked at Situ Ming as soon as he entered. Situ Ming nodded when he heard Situ Zhong's words. At the same time, he sighed in relief. Humph. It seems like the Dark Nether sect's enemy is here. The Dark Nether sect is really good at causing trouble. They actually killed an imminent Saint Stage powerhouse like Zhou Shu. Without Zhou Shu, how is the Dark Nether sect going to rise again? Soon after, someone snorted coldly. Voices of dissatisfaction rose and fell one after another. As the core members of Situ Ming's faction, naturally, they knew about the relationship between their faction and the Dark Nether sect. They knew the Dark Nether sect and the Dark Nether sect were in the same boat. The loss of the Dark Nether sect was also their loss. Alright, there's no point in talking about this now. The most important thing now is to find out who's the one who's going against the Dark Nether sect. Situ Ming said impatiently. While Situ Ming's faction was still in a state of chaos due to the incident at the Dark Nether sect's base, Duan Lingtian had already arrived at the Dark Nether sect's estate with Bai Li Hong. Junior brother, what's your plan? Bai Li Hong asked as he looked at Duan Lingtian. Senior brother, wait for me here. I'll scout the area first before coming back with you to save Uncle Feng and the others. Duan Lingtian said to Bai Li Hong. After he finished speaking, without waiting for Bai Li Hong's reply, Duan Lingtian moved and disappeared in front of Bai Li Hong as though he had vanished into thin air. Upon seeing this, Bai Li Hong smiled wryly. However, there was nothing he could do. He could only wait on the spot. The Dark Nether sect's estate was not shrouded by a flight-prohibiting formation. Due to this reason, Duan Lingtian was like a fish in water when he entered. He did not encounter any obstacles as he easily entered and arrived at the eastern side of the Dark Nether Sect's estate. Along the way, Duan Lingtian had learned about this from Bai Li Hong. The two saint stage powerhouses of the Dark Nether Sect, the sect leader of Yin Yang Sect and the supreme elder of Dark Nether Sect, were cultivating in the eastern side of the Dark Nether Sect's estate. This was because the heaven and earth spirit energy there was the most abundant in the entire Dark Nether Sect's estate. Most of the 6th grade saint stones that appeared in the Dark Nether Sect's 7th grade saint stone vein were in the eastern side. Due to this reason, the heaven and earth spirit energy there was especially rich. When Duan Lingtian arrived at the eastern side of the Dark Nether Sect's estate, it was as though he had entered an uninhabited land. Although this was partly due to the lack of people in the eastern side, it was mostly due to Duan Lingtian's current strength. Ordinary people would not be able to discover his whereabouts at all. HM? Suddenly, Duan Lingtian sensed a powerful spiritual energy appearing out of thin air and sweeping toward him menacingly. Divine consciousness. In an instant, Duan Lingtian could tell it was a divine consciousness. It was the divine consciousness of a saint stage powerhouse. Why are you trespassing in my Dark Nether Sect? At the same time, a clear voice entered Duan Lingtian's ears. The voice was loud and clear as though it came from all directions. Are you the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect or the supreme elder of Dark Nether Sect? Upon hearing this voice, Duan Lingtian's expression remained unchanged as he asked nonchalantly. HM? You're a Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator. You're quite bold. You know I'm the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect, but you're still so calm. The loud voice resonated again. A hint of surprise could be heard in his voice. So what if you're the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect? Don't tell me you're going to eat me? Duan Lingtian continued to speak nonchalantly. At this moment, a gust of wind seemed to have blown past. Ripples appeared in the air not far in front of Duan Lingtian before a tall figure appeared out of thin air. Naturally, the figure did not appear out of thin air. When Duan Lingtian slightly activated his strange pupil, he could still vaguely capture the trajectory of the person who had flown over earlier. The tall figure was dressed in a long black robe with red embroidery. He wore a crown on his head, making him appear extremely noble. Chapter 1611. The middle-aged man who appeared out of thin air was none other than the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect, Yi Feng. Tell me, who are you? Why did you come to my Dark Nether Sect? Yi Feng asked in a deep voice as he looked at the purple-clad young man with a slight frown. If it was not for the fact that the purple-clad young man before him had remained calm from the beginning until the end, he would have attacked at lightning speed and killed the purple-clad young man. As a devil cultivator, it was undoubtedly a great humiliation for him that someone had intruded into the sect he was in charge of. Moreover, this person had even intruded into the place where he cultivated. However, the purple-clad young man's behavior made him wary. Who knew if the purple-clad young man had a powerful background? If the purple-clad young man had a powerful background and he made a move, he and the Dark Nether Sect would be the unlucky ones in the end. I'm Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian looked at Yi Feng calmly and said nonchalantly, Duan Lingtian. The moment Duan Lingtian's words left his mouth, Yi Feng's eyes widened immediately. Naturally, he was familiar with the name Duan Lingtian. He was the interim advisor of Situ clan who had suddenly appeared a few months ago. People called him Master Duan. He had become famous after he cured the great young master of Situ clan, Sidahang. Then he challenged Lady Feng of Drift Blaze sect who was ranked 23rd on the heaven ranking and successfully replaced her. He was originally a nobody, but now he was a powerhouse who was ranked at the top of the heaven ranking. Currently, Duan Lingtian was a household name in Windfall Nation. As the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect, it was impossible for Yi Feng not to know about Duan Lingtian. Apart from that, not only did he know about Duan Lingtian, but he also knew that the second master of Situ clan, Situ Ming, regarded Duan Lingtian as a thorn in his side. This was because Duan Lingtian had saved the Situ clan's first young master, Sidahang, causing the Situ clan's second young master, Situ Jua, to lose the opportunity to inherit the clan leader's position. In short, he had destroyed Situ Ming's plan. Although Situ Ming's faction was at odds with the other faction led by the Situ clan's patriarch, Situ Hao, to the point of fighting openly and covertly, even Situ Ming was unwilling to fight with Situ Hao's faction. Because once both sides fought, it would be the Situ clan's loss in the end. No matter who won in the end, they would not be considered the final winner. Only by obtaining control of the Situ clan without shedding a drop of blood could it be considered a true victory. Assassinating Situ Hang was undoubtedly a shortcut. Situ Ming's faction had also put their plan into action. However, in the end, their plan had failed because of the appearance of Duan Lingtian. For this reason, in the eyes of Situ Ming's faction, Duan Lingtian had become a thorn in their side. The sect leader of Dark Nether sect and the supreme elder of Dark Nether sect owed Situ Ming's father a favor in the past. Due to this reason, to a certain extent, the Dark Nether sect could also be considered as part of Situ Ming's faction. It was just that they did not belong to the Situ clan. The thorn in Situ Ming's side was, naturally, the thorn in Yi Feng's side as well. You're the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan? When Yi Feng looked at Duan Lingtian again, his eyes gleamed coldly as he said in a deep voice, Master Duan, our Dark Nether sect and the Situ clan have always minded our own business. May I know the reason for your uninvited visit to our Dark Nether sect today? If I'm not mistaken, as the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, you must be itching to kill me right now, right? Duan Lingtian said with a faint smile on his face. Yi Feng was shocked when he heard Duan Lingtian's words. He did not expect Duan Lingtian would know what was on his mind. One must know that even though he had such thoughts, he did not express them. He was very confident in his ability to control his emotions. Based on his expression, it doesn't seem like he's making a wild guess. It seems like he already knows about the relationship between our Dark Nether sect and the Situ clan. Don't tell me he's here with Situ Hao's faction? Is he here to get rid of us? The moment Yi Feng thought of this, he became cautious again. Master Duan, what do you mean by that? However, on the surface, Yi Feng pretended that he did not know anything. He frowned and pretended to be confused. Situ Ming. Duan Lingtian's expression remained indifferent as he slowly spat out these 3 words. These 3 words caused Yi Feng's eyes to narrow immediately. He immediately began to observe his surroundings. He extended his divine consciousness as though he wanted to see if there were any powerhouses hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity to make a move on him. At the same time, he raised his hand and crushed a jade token. In just a blink of an eye, a ray of light shot out and disappeared into the mountains in the distance. There's no need to look. It's just me. The clan leader of Situ clan and the others aren't here. When Duan Lingtian saw the grave expression on Yi Feng's face, he instantly knew what was on Yi Feng's mind. You're here alone? Naturally, Yi Feng did not believe this. Not only that, but he became even more cautious. He did not think Duan Lingtian would come here alone. This was especially true when Duan Lingtian knew about the relationship between the Dark Nether sect and Situ Ming's faction. It was even more impossible for him to barge into the Dark Nether sect alone. It was no different from seeking death. However, no matter how he looked at it, Duan Lingtian did not seem like a person who would seek death. Faced with Yi Feng's vigilance, Duan Lingtian, naturally, could see that Yi Feng did not believe him. For this reason, he did not say anything and waited quietly. He had also seen Yi Feng's action earlier. He knew Yi Feng was calling for someone. At this moment, the only person Yi Feng could call for was the supreme elder of the Dark Nether sect. As expected, in just a short while, the space beside Yi Feng rippled, and an old figure appeared. It was an old man with messy gray hair that draped over his shoulders. His eyes shone with a bloodthirsty gleam. The old man's face was ferocious, and he did not look like a normal person at all. Invisibly, it brought about a strong sense of oppression. However, this oppression was only effective on ordinary people. It was completely ineffective on Duan Lingtian. Supreme Elder of the Dark Nether sect? Duan Lingtian asked nonchalantly as he looked at the old man. However, the old man ignored him. After the old man appeared, he looked at Yi Feng who was standing next to him and asked, Sect leader, why did you call me out in such a hurry? Elder Peng, he's the new interim advisor of Situ clan, Duan Lingtian. Yi Feng scanned the surroundings with his divine consciousness vigilantly. After he did not discover anything, he looked at Duan Lingtian and said to the old man in a deep voice, Duan Lingtian. It was obvious Elder Peng, the supreme elder of the Dark Nether sect, had heard of Duan Lingtian's name before. When he learned of Duan Lingtian's identity, his eyes narrowed slightly. However, the bloodthirsty gleam in his eyes intensified. A terrifying killing intent could be faintly felt coming from his body. Chapter 1612. However, even though Elder Peng, the supreme elder of Dark Nether sect, wanted to kill Duan Lingtian, he was not in a hurry to make a move. His divine consciousness was searching in all directions with Yi Feng's divine consciousness. It was as though they were trying to find the person hiding in the dark. Both of them had the same thought. They felt there was a powerhouse from Situ Hao's faction behind Duan Lingtian. Otherwise, Duan Lingtian would not have appeared in front of them so openly. However, it did not cross their minds that perhaps Duan Lingtian alone was enough to deal with them. Two idiots. Duan Lingtian cursed inwardly when he saw the two of them staring at him, but their thoughts were not on him at all. At the same time, a stone tablet appeared in Duan Lingtian's hand out of thin air. It was a stone tablet with a chipped corner. It was densely carved with ancient words. Even until now, Duan Lingtian could not recognize any of the ancient words. However, even though he could not recognize the words on the stone tablet, it did not affect Duan Lingtian's ability to use it at all. Duan Lingtian raised his hand at lightning speed and lifted the stone tablet with a chipped corner in his hand. In the next instant, his eyes sharpened as he stared at Yi Feng and the old man next to him. In an instant, his hand that was holding the stone tablet trembled. The stone tablet in his hand shot out like an arrow toward Yi Feng and the old man. When the stone tablet flew out, wisps of black mist suddenly rose around it. The moment the black mist appeared, waves of terrifying aura instantly spread out and wreaked havoc in the surroundings. It even shrouded Yi Feng and the old man next to him. Both of them shuddered as they regained their senses. This terrifying aura caused both of their hearts to palpitate involuntarily. They immediately withdrew their divine consciousness and shifted their attention to the stone tablet with a chipped corner that Duan Lingtian had thrown out. The stone tablet with a chipped corner gave them an extremely dangerous feeling. This feeling was suffocating to the point of suffocation. Boom, boom. Without any hesitation, Yi Feng and the other man attacked almost at the same time. Accompanied by two loud sounds, two powerful auras instantly appeared within a radius of 100 meters around the two of them. It was obvious that they wanted to use their true essence to condense a domain that belonged to them. Vital essence was the power of a saint. A domain condensed from Zhenyuan was not something a domain condensed from Zhenqi could compare to. It wasn't just the strength of his domain. Even the speed at which he condensed his domain had increased by leaps and bounds. As soon as the auras of Yi Feng's domain appeared, before it could even take shape, it gave Duan Lingtian a tremendous pressure. Duan Lingtian's expression could not help but become solemn. As expected of a saint stage powerhouse. Even my 10,000 swords territory won't be able to contend with such a territory. Duan Lingtian could clearly feel this. However, although his expression was solemn, Duan Lingtian had no intention of retreating. His gaze landed on the stone tablet with a chipped corner that was rapidly flying out. He had confidence in it. It was none other than the Devil Seal tablet, one of the 10 great Super Saint weapons on the 10 great Saint weapons ranking. It was also a Super Saint weapon that could restrain devil cultivators. Almost as soon as Duan Lingtian's thoughts left his mind, as though it had sensed the domain condensed by Yi Feng and the other man's true essence, the black mist on the Devil Seal tablet instantly erupted. An even more terrifying aura spread out as though it was a powerhouse that had been provoked. It was completely enraged and unleashed all of its energy without holding back. As the black mist continued to erupt, the terrifying aura spread out. The domain that Yi Feng and the other man were about to condense was instantly suppressed. After being suppressed, Yi Feng and the other man's domain did not collapse. It was only on the verge of collapsing. Impossible! How's this possible? Upon seeing this, Yi Feng and the other man's expressions changed drastically. When they looked at the chipped cornerstone tablet that Duan Lingtian tossed out again, their eyes were filled with horror. A mere Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator had actually forced them to this extent. Naturally, they could tell this was all because of the stone tablet in front of them. What the hell was this stone tablet? Don't tell me. At this moment, Yi Feng seemed to have recalled something. His eyes widened as he cried out in shock. It's the Devil Seal tablet. It's the Devil Seal tablet. The Devil Seal tablet. The moment Yi Feng's words left his mouth, the old man's expression changed drastically. He no longer focused on condensing his domain. In just an instant, the old man's domain that had yet to condense was instantly suppressed by the Devil Seal tablet's energy. It shattered into pieces as though it had never existed. Once the Dark Nether sect's Supreme Elder's domain was broken, Yi Feng's domain could no longer hold on. In just a short moment, he followed in the former's footsteps. Without the support of their domain, both of them were completely exposed to the Devil Seal tablet. Run! Run! Facing the Devil Seal tablet that only existed in the legends, Yi Feng and the other man who had just witnessed the might of the Devil Seal tablet had no intention to fight at all. They did not even have the time to look at each other before they fled in two different directions in panic. One had to admit that as Saint Stage powerhouses, both of them were ridiculously fast. Since both of them had fled in two different directions, the Devil Seal tablet could only choose one target at a time. In the end, the Devil Seal tablet chose the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect and chased after him. The Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect was fast, but the Devil Seal tablet was not slow either. In just a short moment, under Duan Lingtian's gaze, the energy that surged out of the Devil Seal tablet shrouded the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect in just a blink of an eye. The Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect was shrouded by a black cloud as though he was hiding. After a long while, the black cloud dissipated, and the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect reappeared. However, when he reappeared, his eyes were dim, and there was no sign of life on his body. The Devil Seal tablet was used to suppress devil cultivators. Usually, it would only destroy the soul and not the body. For this reason, although the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect looked fine on the surface, his soul had actually been destroyed by the Devil Seal tablet. However, since the Devil Seal tablet had chosen to suppress the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect, it had missed the opportunity to suppress Yi Feng, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect. Duan Lingtian initially thought the Devil Seal tablet would continue to pursue Yi Feng after suppressing the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect. However, he did not expect the Devil Seal tablet would not make any move after suppressing the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect. It was as though it had completely lost track of Yi Feng. One of them actually managed to escape. This is going to be troublesome. Duan Lingtian's expression was extremely grave. He knew he had chosen the best time to use the Devil Seal tablet, but he did not expect Yi Feng, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, would still be able to escape. Now that Yi Feng had escaped, it meant he was going to be in trouble. Chapter 1613. Before he came here, Duan Lingtian had already planned to kill the two Saint Stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect. Naturally, he planned to kill both of them at once. Initially, he had thought about luring one of them away. However, when he thought about it, it was not realistic. Although he was powerful now, he was not a match for either of the two Saint Stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect if he did not use the Devil Seal tablet. If he did not use the Devil Seal tablet, he would be in a dangerous situation. However, if he used the Devil Seal tablet, he would alert his enemies. Due to this reason, he decided to use the Devil Seal tablet when both of them appeared at the same time. In the beginning, everything went according to his plan. When Yi Feng, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, and the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect appeared together, Duan Lingtian could already see them being killed by the Devil Seal tablet. However, what happened next was completely out of his expectations. He did not expect the Devil Seal tablet would be able to suppress Yi Feng and the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect so easily. Moreover, it took some time for them to escape. Moreover, he did not expect Yi Feng to recognize the Devil Seal tablet at the most critical moment and decide to escape. Due to this reason, the situation had completely changed. The Supreme Elder of Dark Nether Sect was killed by the Devil Seal tablet, and Yi Feng, the sect leader of Dark Nether Sect, had escaped. Now that the Devil Seal tablet has lost track of Yi Feng, it's impossible for me to catch up to him with my current strength. Duan Lingtian's expression was grave. If it was any other time, he would not have thought much of it if Yi Feng had escaped. However, at this moment, Yi Feng found out that he possessed the Devil Seal tablet. Since Yi Feng knew he had the Devil Seal tablet, he must have known it was a Super Saint weapon on the 10 Great Saint Weapons ranking. What if Yi Feng spread the news that he had the Devil Seal tablet? It would be a disaster for him. Just the thought of it sent chills up Duan Lingtian's spine. Let alone the southern Ridgyuan mansion, the Devil Seal tablet was a Super Saint weapon that people in the entire Dao Martial Saint land would go crazy for. To a devil cultivator, the Devil Seal tablet was no different from a nightmare. Whoever obtained the Devil Seal tombstone would not need to fear devil cultivators. Although they would only fear devil cultivators who were one realm higher than them, it was still an extremely impressive feat. Just this alone was sufficient to make countless martial and Dao cultivators go mad for the Devil Seal tablet and flock to it like ducks. If these people found out that the Devil Seal tombstone was in Duan Lingtian's hands, Duan Lingtian could almost imagine what would happen. Just the thought of that scene made Duan Lingtian tremble with fear. Duan Lingtian inhaled a breath of cold air. His eyes flickered and he finally calmed down after a long while. Since things have already developed to this stage, it is futile to think about it any further. The most important thing now is to rescue Uncle Feng, teacher, and the rest and bring them back to the Situ clan. The moment Duan Lingtian thought of this, he temporarily cast Yi Feng's matter to the back of his mind. Since one of the two Saint Stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect had died and escaped, Duan Lingtian no longer had anything to worry about. He directly swaggered into the Dark Nether sect's estate where the 7th grade Saint Stone Reserve was mined. He no longer concealed himself. Who's there? Duan Lingtian's swagger naturally attracted the attention of many Dark Nether sect's patrolling disciples. These Dark Nether sect's disciples shouted one after another as they surrounded Duan Lingtian like dumplings. Previously, when the Devil Seal tablet killed the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect, it did not attract the attention of the Dark Nether sect's people. Otherwise, these Dark Nether sect's disciples would not dare to act so boldly. What a joke! How could they be a threat to someone who could kill their Dark Nether sect's Supreme Elder? Faced with the dozen or so Dark Nether sect's disciples surrounding him, Duan Lingtian raised an eyebrow and said nonchalantly, "Scram." Originally, Duan Lingtian did not think he would make things difficult for these people if they left. Unfortunately, when these Dark Nether sect's disciples heard Duan Lingtian's words, they became stubborn and flew into a rage. "Brat, you're seeking death. Not only did you barge into our Dark Nether sect, but you even asked us to scram. I really don't know where you get your courage from. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Kill him." The group of Dark Nether sect's disciples made a ruckus as they attacked Duan Lingtian. Dazzling true energies shot out in all directions and intertwined with each other as though they had transformed into a huge net that enveloped Duan Lingtian. As soon as Duan Lingtian snorted, the aura in the area within a 100-meter radius around him changed drastically. The piercing aura caused the group of Dark Nether sect's disciples' expressions to change. Just as their expressions changed, tens of thousands of solid sword lights appeared in the void within a radius of 100 meters. Territory. He's a Paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. When Duan Lingtian's 10,000 swords territory appeared and shattered the attacks of the group of Dark Nether sect's disciples, horror dawned on the group of Dark Nether sect's disciples as they cried out in horror. This was destined to be the last emotion they felt in their lives. As the 10,000 swords flew out, the bodies of the group of Dark Nether sect's disciples were pierced. In just a few moments, they turned into corpses that resembled a hornet's nest before they fell from the sky. In just a blink of an eye, the group of people who had come in a ferocious manner had turned into wandering ghosts. I've given all of you a chance. Duan Lingtian's expression was cold as he looked at the corpses. His voice was indifferent and emotionless. Just like that, Duan Lingtian killed his way into the Dark Nether sect's 7th grade Saint Stone Vein. During this time, Duan Lingtian killed another 2 imminent Saint Stage Devil cultivators. One of them was the Vice Sect leader of Dark Nether sect, and the other was the Grand Elder of Dark Nether sect. Duan Lingtian's appearance shocked all of the laborers in the Dark Nether sect's Saint Stone Vein. Someone had actually killed his way into the Dark Nether sect's estate and even killed the Vice Sect leader and Grand Elder of Dark Nether sect. In the past, this was something that they did not even dare to think about. However, it was clear to them now. Duan Lingtian. Soon after, the group of laborers saw another young man who was also a laborer rose into the air. They were pleasantly surprised when they saw the purple-clad young man who looked like an invincible god of war. Does he know this powerhouse? Isn't he also a laborer like us? How is it possible for him to know such a powerhouse? That's right. How is it possible for a person who knows such a powerhouse to end up being a laborer here? The group of laborers discussed among themselves. They found it hard to believe. Nangong Yi, from the looks of it, you didn't suffer much. Duan Lingtian smiled as he looked at the familiar young man before him. This young man was one of the Nangong brothers whom he was familiar with on Cloud Continent. His name was Nangong Yi. After Duan Lingtian saw Nangong Yi, he quickly discovered Feng Wudao, Sima, and the others as well. When he discovered they were safe and sound, he could not help but heave a sigh of relief. Uncle Feng, teacher. Duan Lingtian descended from the air and appeared in front of Feng Wudao and the others in just a blink of an eye. He greeted the 2 seniors, Feng Wudao and Sima Changfeng. After a while, he greeted Qin Xiao Shuai. Then he nodded at Xiong Quan and Gold Thug and said, I'm sorry for troubling all of you during this period of time. You're welcome. Xiong Quan and Gold Thug shook their heads. Xiong Quan even smiled as he said, I knew young Master would definitely come and save us. Master, don't tell me the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, who has been rumored in Windfall Nation recently, is really you. Gold Thug asked curiously as he looked at Duan Lingtian. As Gold Thug asked the question, Feng Wudao and the others shifted their attention to Duan Lingtian. They were also curious about this. In the face of Gold Thug's question, Duan Lingtian nodded and said with a smile, I'm indeed the interim advisor of Situ clan now. I'm here to bring all of you away and temporarily bring all of you to the Situ clan. The interim advisor of Situ clan. Master Duan. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's admission, Feng Wudao and the others could not help but feel shocked even though they had suspected it. They knew very well why the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, was so famous. Now that they found out the Duan Lingtian they knew was Master Duan, how could they not be shocked? I can't believe it's really you, Chen Xiao Shuai exclaimed in shock. In that case, you're here with the powerhouses from Situ clan as well? Nangong Yi asked with bright eyes as he looked at the corpses of the Dark Nether sect's disciples that had been smashed into minced meat on the ground. No, I came here alone. Duan Lingtian shook his head. Alone? Duan Lingtian's words stunned Feng Wudao and the others. He had barged into the Dark Nether sect alone and killed so many Dark Nether sect's disciples, including the Vice Sect leader and Grand Elder. Although they did not find it strange that Duan Lingtian possessed such strength, they did not find it strange. After all, when they found out Duan Lingtian was the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, they knew he had the strength of a heaven-ranking powerhouse. Naturally, it was easy for him to kill 2 imminent Saint Stage powerhouses who were not in the heaven ranking. However, since Duan Lingtian dared to kill so recklessly in the Dark Nether sect, there was no doubt he would alert the 2 Saint Stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect. It was precisely because they thought of those 2 Saint Stage experts that Feng Wudao and the others were frightened. Young Master, you should leave now. If the sect leader and supreme elder of Dark Nether sect catch wind of this and rush here, you'll be in danger. Xiong Quan was the first to regain his senses. His expression was solemn as he told Duan Lingtian. That's right. We'll take advantage of the chaos to escape. If we manage to escape, we'll go to the capital to look for you. Feng Wudao nodded in agreement as he said to Duan Lingtian in a slightly anxious manner. Although Sima and the others did not say anything, the anxious look in their eyes when they looked at Duan Lingtian showed they shared the same thoughts. They hoped Duan Lingtian would leave as soon as possible so that the two Saint Stage powerhouses from Dark Nether sect would not be able to escape. Don't worry, they won't come. Chapter 16:14. He won't come? When Feng Wudao and the others heard Duan Lingtian's words, they were stunned. They did not know why Duan Lingtian would say such a thing. However, when they saw the confidence on Duan Lingtian's face, they could not help but believe in Duan Lingtian's words. Although they had many questions in their hearts, they were not in a hurry to ask. Instead, they left with Duan Lingtian. When the remaining laborers saw Duan Lingtian leaving with Feng Wudao and the others, they finally regained their senses. He's the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan? One of the laborers muttered in surprise. Earlier, since he was not far away from Duan Lingtian and the others, he could vaguely hear the conversation between Duan Lingtian and Feng Wudao and the others. It seems like the rumors are true. The interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, is indeed a powerhouse on the heaven ranking. Another laborer chimed in. Humph. Master Duan isn't just a powerhouse on the heaven ranking. The powerhouses on the heaven ranking are also divided into different grades and ranks. Master Duan is currently ranked 23rd on the heaven ranking. If Master Duan continues to advance, his ranking will definitely not be limited to the 23rd place. You must know that even Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect who was defeated by Master Duan was widely acknowledged as someone who could enter the top 10 of the heaven ranking before she was defeated by Master Duan. That's right. With Master Duan's strength, he'll definitely be able to enter the top 10 of the heaven ranking. The group of laborers discussed among themselves. Their words were all about Duan Lingtian. I can't believe those laborers like us are related to Master Duan. It's obvious Master Duan entered the Dark Nether sect today because of them. I'm so envious. It'll be great if I have such a relationship with Master Duan. That's enough. Stop dreaming. Master Duan is such an important person. He's not someone you can associate with. Master Duan has left with the others. There's no one from the Dark Nether sect around. Let's leave as well. If we continue to stay here, we'll die sooner or later. Amidst the sounds of discussion, the group of laborers quickly reached a consensus, and they all soared into the sky and fled towards the outside. Soon after, they discovered they did not encounter any obstacles along the way. Even when they occasionally saw the Dark Nether sect's disciples, they could tell they were running for their lives. Their expressions were even more panicked than theirs. What happened? Regarding this, the group of laborers was rather puzzled. They did not know that when Duan Lingtian killed the Grand Elder and the Vice Sect leader of the Dark Nether sect, a Dark Nether sect's disciple had gone to the eastern side of the Dark Nether sect's estate to report to their sect leader. However, he soon discovered the sect leader of Dark Nether sect was not around. Moreover, he even found the corpse of the Supreme Elder of the Dark Nether sect. When the Dark Nether sect's disciple recounted everything he had seen, the remaining people from the Dark Nether sect, including the high-ranking officials and the disciples, chose to flee. The Grand Elder is dead and the sect master is missing. If we stay here, won't we be killed at any time? In the Dark Nether sect, when the tree fell, the monkeys would scatter. Naturally, Duan Lingtian was unaware of all this. At this moment, he was bringing Feng Wudao and the others to meet up with Bai Li Hong. Junior brother, Bai Li Hong had been waiting for a long time, but he did not see Duan Lingtian. He could not help but feel worried. Now that he saw Duan Lingtian had not only returned, but he had even brought Feng Wudao and the others with him, he was shocked. Was this not too efficient? Moreover, did the sect leader of Dark Nether sect not notice his junior brother's actions? Logically speaking, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect would most likely stop his junior brother from saving them. Could it be that the sect leader of Dark Nether sect was cultivating in closed-door cultivation, and that's why junior brother had the opportunity to kill them? In the end, Bai Li Hong thought to himself. As for killing the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect and scaring away the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, Bai Li Hong could not figure it out no matter how hard he racked his brains. Naturally, he did not dare to think about it as well. Senior brother, let's return to the capital. After calling out to Bai Li Hong, Duan Lingtian raised his hand. A vast amount of true energy surged out and transformed into an invisible force that carried Feng Wudao and the others back to the capital of Windfall Nation. Along the way, Bai Li Hong could not help but ask, Junior brother, did the sect leader of Dark Nether sect not show up? The moment Bai Li Hong's words left his mouth, Feng Wudao and the others shifted their attention to Duan Lingtian. They found this strange as well. Logically speaking, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect should have shown up soon after such a huge incident had happened. However, contrary to their expectations, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect did not show up from the beginning until the end. There must be something fishy about this. They had a feeling that something they didn't know was happening behind the scenes. He ran away. Duan Lingtian said. Ran away? Duan Lingtian's words caused Bai Li Hong, Feng Wudao, and the others to be petrified. The Dark Nether sect's supreme elder died in my hands, and the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, Yi Feng, has escaped. Duan Lingtian continued to say. When he mentioned Yi Feng's escape, he could not help but frown. Today's matter of rescuing someone was almost perfect. However, Yi Feng's escape had caused quite a lot of trouble. Although the latent danger might not be exposed in the near future, even Duan Lingtian himself could not say for sure what would happen when the news of him possessing the Devil Seal tablet spread out as time went by. Bai Li Hong and the others who were almost petrified were truly petrified when they heard Duan Lingtian say he had killed the Dark Nether sect's supreme elder. Bai Li Hong's figure that was moving forward came to a halt. Upon seeing this, Duan Lingtian, Feng Wudao, and the others also came to a halt. Duan Lingnan, why you broken through to the saint stage? Chen Xiao Shui asked in shock as his eyes widened. Freak. Nangong Yi looked at Duan Lingtian as though he had just seen a ghost. Feng Wudao and the others had similar expressions on their faces as well. When they found out Duan Lingtian was the interim advisor of Situ clan, Master Duan, they were already shocked by the improvement in his strength. It had only been a short while, but Duan Lingtian had already defeated Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect and entered the heaven ranking. In their opinion, this was already an exaggeration. However, it did not cross their minds that the exaggeration was yet to come. Duan Lingtian actually said he had killed the Dark Nether sect's supreme elder. In fact, that was a true saint stage powerhouse. Although they had only worked in the Dark Nether sect for a period of time, it did not affect Feng Wudao and the others' understanding of the Dark Nether sect and the two saint stage powerhouses. Based on Duan Lingtian's words, one of the two saint stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect had been killed by him while the other one had fled. Duan Lingtian had also said that the people from Situ clan did not come. He came alone. In other words, the other saint stage powerhouse from the Dark Nether sect, Yi Feng, the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, was scared away by Duan Lingtian. How could they not be shocked when they thought of this? Junior brother, didn't you say you haven't broken through to the saint stage yet? Bai Li Hong asked in a daze when he finally regained his senses after a long while. At the same time, Feng Wudao and the others' eyes were also trained on Duan Lingtian. It was as though they wanted to know how Duan Lingtian would answer this question. Senior brother, I didn't lie to you. It's true that I haven't broken through to the saint stage yet. Under the watchful eyes of the others, Duan Lingtian calmly said, As for the reason I killed the supreme elder of Dark Nether sect, it's because I used a special technique. The sect leader of Dark Nether sect was also scared away by my special technique. Special technique. Based on Duan Lingtian's words, it was obvious he did not want to reveal the technique he used. You're not at the saint stage, but you managed to kill a saint stage powerhouse? Junior brother, I don't know what to say to you anymore. Bai Li Hong sighed. He believed Duan Lingtian's words. Bai Li Hong was shocked, but Feng Wudao and the others were even more shocked. After all, Bai Li Hong had only met Duan Lingtian in the Dao Martial Saint Land. On the other hand, they had known Duan Lingtian since they were on Cloud Continent on the Mortal Continent. It could be said that they had watched Duan Lingtian grow step by step with their own eyes. At this moment, Duan Lingtian's strength was far beyond their reach. I can't believe there's someone as monstrous as Duan Lingtian in our cloud continent. Chen Xiao Shui sighed emotionally. Feng Wudao and the others deeply agreed with this. Uncle Feng. Duan Lingtian did not linger on this topic. Soon after, he looked at Feng Wudao and changed the topic. I found Tian Wu. The moment Duan Lingtian's words left his mouth, Feng Wudao was not the only one who looked at Duan Lingtian excitedly. Even Bai Li Hong, Sima Chang Feng, and the others looked at Duan Lingtian in unison. Bai Li Hong was no stranger to Feng Tianwu. This was because his junior brother had asked him to look for a woman who came from the mortal continent just like his junior brother. She was also Feng Wudao's daughter. Sima Chang Feng and the others were no stranger to Feng Tianwu as well. At the very least, after knowing Feng Wudao, they were no stranger to Feng Tianwu. They knew Feng Tianwu was Feng Wudao's daughter. They also knew about the complicated relationship between Feng Tianwu and Duan Lingtian. Now that they knew Duan Lingtian had found Feng Tianwu, Bai Li Hong and the others were happy for Feng Wudao. Big brother Feng, congratulations. Sima Chang Feng was the first to congratulate Feng Wudao. After so many years of being together, he and Feng Wudao were already brothers. Uncle Feng, congratulations. The two brothers, Chen Xiao Shui and Nangong, congratulated Feng Wudao as well. Miss Tian Wu. Not only did Xiong Quan and Gold Thug know Feng Tianwu, but they had also spent quite some time with Feng Tianwu. Their eyes lit up when they found out their young master and master had found Feng Tianwu. Where is she now? Is she in the Situ clan in the capital? Feng Wudao looked at Duan Lingtian with a burning gaze, and even his breathing became slightly hurried. No. Duan Lingtian shook his head. Feng Wudao frowned. Yes. Chapter 1615. Tian Wu's master? Feng Wudao was stunned when he heard Duan Lingtian's words. He did not know what happened to his daughter after she came to the Dao Martial Saint Land. Due to this reason, he did not know his daughter had a master in the Dao Martial Saint Land. Uncle Feng, although all of you have been staying in the Dark Nether sect, I'm sure all of you know about the happenings in Windfall Nation. Duan Lingtian said as he looked at Feng Wudao. Yes. Feng Wudao nodded. Since all of you know I'm the interim advisor of Situ clan, I'm sure all of you know how I became famous in Windfall Nation, right? Duan Lingtian asked again. You healed the great young master of Situ clan and defeated Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. That's how you became famous. This time, before Feng Wudao could speak, Nangong Yi had already spoken. That's right. Duan Lingtian nodded before asking again, then, do all of you know about Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect? Of course. Nangong Yi's eyes lit up. Speaking of Lady Feng, she's also a monstrous martial Dao prodigy. It's said that she appeared in Drift Blaze sect a few years ago and entered the heaven ranking a year ago. Not only that, but she's also the youngest martial Dao prodigy in the Southern Ridgeyuan Mansion's heaven ranking. Most importantly, she's a woman. Half a year later, she entered the 23rd place in the heaven ranking again. Not only did she become famous in Windfall Nation, but she's also famous in the Southern Ridgeyuan Mansion. Another half a year has passed. Just when almost everyone in Windfall Nation thought she had the strength to enter the top 10 of the heaven ranking, she was defeated by you. It can be said that she's the unluckiest person in your journey to become famous. However, with her innate talent and strength, it shouldn't be difficult for her to enter the top of the heaven ranking again. For a woman to be able to achieve so much at the age of 40, it really makes one blush with shame. When Nangong Yi reached the end of his sentence, he could not help but sigh emotionally. Lingtian boy, you mentioned that Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect? Could it be? When Feng Wudao saw Duan Lingtian intentionally mentioning Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect, a thought that even he found hard to believe flashed through his mind. It was precisely because he found it hard to believe that he couldn't continue when he reached this point. Uncle Feng, looks like you've already guessed it. When Duan Lingtian saw Feng Wudao's expression, how could he not guess what he was thinking? He immediately smiled and said, that's right. That Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect is your daughter, Tian Wu. Boom! On the other hand, no matter if it entered into the ears of Feng Wudao or Bai Li Hong and the others, these words of Duan Lingtian were no different than a bolt of lightning that shook them to the point they were unable to recover from their shock for a long time. It's really Tianwu. Feng Tianwu's eyes widened. Her face was full of excitement, and her body trembled uncontrollably. That Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect is Feng Tianwu? Meanwhile, Bai Li Hong, Sima Chang Feng, Chen Xiao Shuai, and Nangong were dumbfounded as well. They had also heard of Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect. Naturally, they knew what kind of person she was. If it was not for Duan Lingtian, Lady Feng would definitely be the most dazzling person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation. Even if she was defeated by Duan Lingtian, she was still dazzling in Windfall Nation. It was just that she was no longer the strongest person among the younger generation in Windfall Nation. However, such a young female powerhouse was actually the daughter that Feng Wudao had been looking for all this while. How could they not be shocked? Lady Feng is Miss Tianwu? At the same time, Xiong Quan and Gold Thug exchanged glances. They could see the shock in each other's eyes. Naturally, they were not unfamiliar with Feng Tianwu. However, it did not cross their minds that after a few years, the beautiful lady who was deeply in love with their young master and master had also achieved such a shocking achievement. She was only slightly inferior to their young master and master. Duan Lingtian was not surprised when he saw the shock on everyone's faces. After all, he was also shocked when he found out Lady Feng was Tianwu when he was in Drift Blaze sect. Wu Dao, congratulations. Bai Li Hong was the first to return to his senses and congratulated Feng Wudao. Sima Chang Feng and the others also returned to their senses and congratulated Feng Wudao one by one. In the end, Sima Chang Feng even sighed with envy. Big brother Feng, you have no more regrets in your life now that you have such an outstanding daughter. At this moment, Feng Wudao finally returned to his senses. However, he did not look as happy as everyone had imagined. It has only been a few years, and Tianwu has already achieved such a cultivation base. I think she must have had a hard time in these few years. Feng Wudao said with a hint of heartache. As the saying went, one has to endure hardships to become a man of honor. Feng Wudao believed his daughter must have suffered a lot in order to achieve her current achievements. Due to this reason, he felt heartache for her. If it was possible, he really hoped his daughter could live a carefree life. She did not want to become powerful, she only wanted to live a peaceful life. This was the most sincere wish of a father. Let's return to the capital first. When Duan Lingtian saw the anticipation in Feng Tianwu's eyes, naturally, he knew he was eager to see Feng Tianwu. He immediately called out to Bai Li Hong and brought Feng Wudao and the others back to the capital. When they returned, a shocking piece of news began to spread in the Dark Nether sect's estate. Of the two Saint Stage powerhouses in the Dark Nether sect, the Supreme Elder had been killed, and the sect leader had gone missing. Many high-ranking officials and disciples had also died in the sect. At the same time, the remaining high-ranking officials and disciples of the Dark Nether sect had also left the Dark Nether sect. They were afraid of getting into trouble. In just a blink of an eye, a seventh-rate sect had fallen apart. Surprisingly, even though the Dark Nether sect's estate was empty, nobody dared to lay their hands on the 7th grade Saint Stone Vein in the Dark Nether sect's estate. This was because they did not know if they would offend the powerhouse or force that had almost annihilated the Dark Nether sect. The Dark Nether sect is gone just like that? Although the Dark Nether sect is the weakest 7th-rate force in Windfall Nation, it's still a 7th-rate force. It's not something a 6th-rate force can compare to. Moreover, it even had 2 Saint Stage powerhouses. Such a sect was annihilated overnight. Who did the Dark Nether sect offend? Or did they offend some force? At the same time, many people near the Dark Nether sect's estate were discussing among themselves. They were curious about who the Dark Nether sect had offended. Soon after, another piece of news began to spread. On the same day that the Supreme Elder of the Dark Nether sect was killed and the sect leader went missing, many people who were captured by the Dark Nether sect had witnessed Master Duan, the interim advisor of Situ clan, appear in the Dark Nether sect and kill many of the Dark Nether sect's disciples. Apart from that, he had also killed a vice sect leader and the grand elder of the Dark Nether sect. Don't tell me it's the Situ clan? It should be. I wonder how the Dark Nether sect offended the Situ clan to the point that they had to annihilate it. They're both 7th-rate forces, but the Situ clan annihilated the Dark Nether sect as though they were playing house. How ridiculous! Humph! The Dark Nether sect is merely the weakest 7th-rate force in Windfall Nation. How can it be compared to the Situ clan? The Situ clan is one of the top 7th-rate forces in Windfall Nation. Not only that, but they also have a close relationship with the Imperial family. A mere Dark Nether sect is nothing compared to them. The rumors about the Situ clan annihilating the Dark Nether sect became more and more intense. All of this was because Duan Lingtian, the interim advisor of Situ clan, had appeared in the Dark Nether sect on the day the Dark Nether sect was annihilated. Not only that, but he had also killed many of the Dark Nether sect's disciples. However, the speed at which the news spread was not as fast as Duan Lingtian and Bai Lihong. Since Duan Lingtian and Bai Lihong remembered how much Feng Wudao missed his daughter, they traveled at full speed as well. In just a few days, they arrived at the capital of Windfall Nation. When they arrived at the capital of Windfall Nation, Duan Lingtian immediately brought his men to the Situ clan. Master Duan. The guards at the entrance of the Situ clan bowed respectfully when they saw Duan Lingtian. They did not dare to be negligent at all. What a joke! Even the clan leader and the great young master of the Situ clan had to be respectful when they met the purple-clad young man. How could they dare to be impudent in front of him? All right. Duan Lingtian smiled as he nodded at the Situ clan's guards. Then he brought Bai Lihong, Feng Wudao, Sima, and the others into the Situ clan. Although the people brought by Duan Lingtian were unfamiliar faces, the Situ clan's guards did not dare to stop them. This was because they knew Master Duan was extremely powerful, so they did not dare to stop him. Even if Master Duan did not make a move, the clan leader and great young master would not allow them to be impudent. If they stopped him, perhaps they would have to pack up and leave the Situ clan when the news reached the ears of the clan leader and great young master. Master Duan actually smiled at us earlier. How kind. One of the Situ clan's guards sighed emotionally. Previously, second young master had a friend whose status and cultivation base could not compare to Master Duan. However, he was extremely arrogant in front of us. The way he looked at us was as though he was looking at lowly people. The gap between people is really huge. I was there that time as well. Perhaps this is what the saying goes, ugly people make more mischief. Another guard chimed in. That's right. In terms of appearance, second young master's friend really can't compare to Master Duan. The other family guards all laughed. However, there was one guard who did not say anything from the beginning until the end. Suddenly, his eyes flashed as he said to the other guards, "Brothers, I suddenly feel that my cultivation base seems to have improved, and I have to go into closed-door cultivation for a while. I'll be leaving for a period of time, and I'll make up for all of you later. Go, go!" Chapter 16:16. The Situ clan's guard who had temporarily left his post did not return to cultivate after he entered the Situ clan's estate. His destination was the inner mansion. To be more precise, it was the courtyard where Situ Ming, the second master of Situ clan, lived. Second master. After reporting his arrival, the Situ clan's guard successfully met Situ Ming. What's wrong? What's the matter? With just a glance, Situ Ming recognized the guard he had planted at the entrance of the Situ clan's estate. He could not help but ask. Every time someone entered or left the Situ clan's estate, he would be informed by the guards he had planted. "Second master, Master Duan has returned." The guard replied. "He's only back now?" Situ Ming frowned. Before the incident at the Dark Nether sect's base in the capital, he already knew Duan Lingtian had left the Situ clan. Moreover, he even suspected the incident at the Dark Nether sect's base in the capital was caused by Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian was strong enough to enter the top 10 of the heaven ranking. However, when he thought about the strength of Zhou Shu, the person in charge of the Dark Nether sect's base, he felt Duan Lingtian might not be a match for Zhou Shu. Yes. The guard nodded and continued to say, he brought 8 people with him this time. 8 people? Situ Ming frowned. Poor they. I'm not sure about that. The guard shook his head. All right, I understand. You may leave now. Situ Ming replied and waved his hand to signal the guard to leave. After the guard left, Situ Ming frowned. His expression was extremely grave. Where did that Duan Lingtian come from? It's as though he appeared out of thin air in Windfall Nation and ruined my plan. The plan that Situ Ming mentioned was, naturally, the incident where he tried to assassinate Situ Hang. That matter was naturally not something that his son could do alone. He was the real mastermind behind it. The news of Duan Lingtian's return soon reached the ears of the clan leader of Situ clan, Situ Hao, and the great young master of Situ clan. Both of them came out to welcome Duan Lingtian at the same time. Master Duan, clan leader of Situ clan, young Master Hang. When Duan Lingtian saw Situ Hao and Situ Hang, he smiled and greeted them. Then, he introduced Bai Li Hong and the others behind him to them. Master Bai. Situ Hao and Situ Hao had long heard of Bai Li Hong. Hence, they were very enthusiastic. Of course, they didn't neglect Feng Wu Dao and the others. After all, they were Duan Lingtian's friends and family. Situ Hang's residence, Situ Hang's residence, Situ Hang's residence's residence. This arrangement was, naturally, for the convenience of Duan Lingtian and the others. They did not have to cross half of the Situ clan before they could meet. After settling Bai Li Hong and the others, Duan Lingtian looked at Feng Wu Dao. Uncle Feng, rest well today. I'll go to the Drift Blaze sect with you tomorrow morning. All right. Although Feng Wu Dao was anxious, he knew there was no need to rush. He nodded and returned to his room to rest. After bidding farewell to Bai Li Hong and the others, Duan Lingtian returned to Situ Hang's residence with Situ Hao and his son. Master Duan, I can't believe you managed to save all of them by yourself. Situ Hang exclaimed in shock. Master Duan, I don't think you met the sect leader and supreme elder in the Dark Nether sect this time, right? Situ Hao asked. He knew the Dark Nether sect very well. In fact, he wished he could uproot it. However, the moment he recalled the relationship between the Dark Nether sect and Situ Ming's progeny, he was worried the people from Situ Ming's progeny would become desperate and join forces with the 2 great Saint Stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect to deal with his progeny. If the 2 great Saint Stage powerhouses from the Dark Nether sect joined the fray, his progeny would definitely not be a match for them. At that time, even if the old ancestor of Situ clan intervened, their progeny would be greatly damaged. It would be impossible for them to fight with Situ Ming's progeny then. As the old ancestor of Situ clan, even if he knew Situ Ming's progeny was in the wrong, he would not blame them for the sake of the clan. This was the law of the jungle in the Dao Martial Saint land. The strong preyed on the weak, and only the fittest survived. Due to this reason, even if Duan Lingtian asked him to help, he was powerless to do so. He could not bring everyone from his progeny to gamble since it was a gamble that they would definitely lose. However, it was completely beyond his expectations that Duan Lingtian would be able to save them on his own. Yes. Duan Lingtian nodded. Yes. Upon hearing this, Situ Hao and Situ Hang narrowed their eyes immediately. Then, the Supreme Elder of Dark Nether sect is dead. As for the sect leader of Dark Nether sect, he has fled. Currently, the Dark Nether sect only exists in name, right? Duan Lingtian said unhurriedly. His tone was very casual as though he was talking about something that had nothing to do with him. What? Duan Lingtian's words stunned Situ Hao and Situ Hang. Both of them looked at Duan Lingtian solemnly. They discovered Duan Lingtian did not seem to be lying at all. Young Master Hang, didn't I tell you before I left that I'll give you a surprise? Are you satisfied with this surprise? Duan Lingtian said with a smile as he looked at Situ Hang. Surprise. At this moment, Situ Hang finally remembered that Duan Lingtian had indeed said he would give him a surprise before he left the Situ clan without their help. However, he thought the surprise was because Duan Lingtian had killed the 2 vice sect leaders of Dark Nether sect at the Dark Nether sect's stronghold. At this moment, he finally realized the surprise Duan Lingtian had mentioned was something he did not even dare to think about. The supreme elder of Dark Nether sect was dead, and the sect leader of Dark Nether sect had fled. The Dark Nether sect only existed in name. It seems like there's a terrifying force behind this Master Duan. Sidhu Hang thought to himself, could it be a powerhouse from Drift Blaze sect? When he recalled the close relationship between Duan Lingtian and Lady Feng from Drift Blaze sect, and the fact that Lady Feng was the direct disciple the sect leader of Drift Blaze sect doted on the most, he could not help but think to himself. Sidhu Hao's thoughts were similar to Sidhu Hang's. The Dark Nether sect was destroyed. The moment he thought of this, his heart was filled with excitement. His eyes were filled with gratitude when he looked at Duan Lingtian. Thank you, Master Duan. As the clan leader of Situ clan, Sidhu Hao actually bowed and thanked Duan Lingtian. If news of this spread out, many people would be shocked. Sidhu Hang bowed and thanked him as well. Naturally, Duan Lingtian was unaware of the thoughts of Sidhu Hao and Sidhu Hang. Duan Lingtian looked at Sidhu Hao and said, Clan leader Sidhu, my senior brother and my friends will be staying in the Sidhu clan for the time being. You, Master Duan, Master Bai Li and your friend can stay in our Sidhu clan for as long as they want. I can promise you that our Sidhu clan will treat them as distinguished guests and make them feel at home at all times. Before Duan Lingtian could finish his words, Sidhu Hao interrupted him and made a promise. Thank you, clan leader Sidhu. Duan Lingtian quickly thanked him. You're welcome, Master Duan. Sidhu Hao smiled. You're the interim advisor of our Sidhu clan. It's only right for me to do this. Master Duan. Sidhu Hang suddenly seemed to have recalled something as his expression turned grave. Earlier, I heard you and Master Feng say that you're going to the Drift Blaze sect with him tomorrow? Yes. Duan Lingtian nodded. Master Duan. At this moment, Sidhu Hao's expression turned grave as well. You don't know this, but the people from Sidhu Ming's faction have been very active while you were away. It's fine that they didn't know about your whereabouts when you left earlier. I'm sure they've received news that you're back today as well. If you leave tomorrow, I'm worried they'll do something to you. Sidhu Hao voiced out his concern. That's right. Sidhu Hang nodded as well. Even if Grandfather Ho comes with you tomorrow, it's still not safe. Based on our speculation, Sidhu Ming has most likely suspected you of being the one who killed the two vice sect leaders of Dark Nether sect. You've ruined their plans time and time again. If they find an opportunity, they won't let it go so easily. That's it? Duan Lingtian shook his head and smiled. He did not seem to mind. Master Duan, this isn't a joke. Sidhu Ming is a ruthless person through and through. He already holds a grudge against you for saving Hang previously. This time, even if he only suspects you and can't confirm it, he won't let you go so easily. Sidhu Hao smiled wryly. Even if Elder Ho comes with you tomorrow, all of you won't be safe. This is because Sidhu Ming might personally make a move. Coupled with the other supreme elder of our Sidhu clan, even Elder Ho won't be able to stop two saint stage powerhouses at the same time. However, if Master Duan insists, Elder Ho and I can come with you. Sidhu Hao took a deep breath and said when he saw Duan Lingtian was still unconcerned about this matter. Clan leader Sidhu, I know you have good intentions, but there's no need for that. Duan Lingtian shook his head. A hint of confidence could be seen on his face. As long as you spread the word about our purpose of going to the Drift Blaze sect, Sidhu Ming won't dare to make a move on us even if he's 10 times more courageous. Purpose? What purpose? As though he was affected by Duan Lingtian's confidence, Sidhu Hao could not help but ask. Sidhu Hang also looked at Duan Lingtian curiously. My uncle Feng is the father of Drift Blaze sect's Lady Feng. Do you think Sidhu Ming will dare to make a move when the news of me accompanying my uncle Feng to the Drift Blaze sect spreads? Duan Lingtian smiled faintly. When Duan Lingtian's words entered Sidhu Hao and his son's ears, it was like a heavy bomb that exploded. It took them a while to regain their senses. That Master Feng is Lady Feng's father? You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.